Good morning, good morning, good morning. You're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
My name is Paul B. He's Buddy to God. Welcome,
Hey.
welcome, welcome. It is Wednesday, the 6th of April, 2026. We believe in the concept of times and dates, and we're all here together about to fire it up. You ready?
Hey, let's
Let's
go.
go. First Sky Omaha in the morning. Money. Once again, welcome, welcome, welcome. It's going down on the 8th of April, 2026, a fresh edition of First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
And right now, my name is Paul B. He's Buddy to God.
Hey.
And we're welcoming all of the chat chimers coming in early this morning. And of course, all the ghost listeners that are running around, getting ready for the day, checking us out. Appreciate you tuning in.
Hey.
How y'all feeling on this Wednesday? Lots going on this week and lots going on this weekend. We'll definitely be talking about it. As you saw at the top of the show, we do have a special guest coming in today. Brother Raheem Sanders is going to join us from PPRP Innovations. You might be wondering what that is. You'll find out. Stick around.
Hey. Learn something new.
Learn something new. Stick around. It'll be a good 2-hour day today. So we definitely appreciate you guys coming in and getting ready to have some good questions, some good comments, some good conversation happening. That's what it's all about. How you feeling today, buddy?
Man, I'm feeling good. Feeling anxious. Of
Ooh.
course, all things in life continue. The same old day in the life as far as First Sky Omaha maintaining those things, doing things in between the shows, working. Kids are on spring break, so
Ooh,
spending time with the babies at home.
man.
All of that. But all that's in the background right now, man. I'm excited. I just bought me a new DJ board. For those of you who know, you know what I'm saying? I get down on the ones and twos from time to time. And
Hey.
it's my DJ board is now about 10 years old, actually a little
Ooh.
older than that. So yeah, it's time, man. Time. The
Yeah,
concept of time. It just goes by so quickly. So,
true.
it was time for me to upgrade. Speaking of time, man, I'm excited. I'm excited. It ain't came yet, but you know how we are about new equipment, man. I'm
Oh
excited.
man.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
ready
yeah.
to, it's celebration time when the new equipment
Celebration.
there.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So I'm excited, man. Yeah, yeah. That's really all. That's all I can think about, man. Just
Hey, I feel that. I feel that. And as much as we talk about, art soldiering and how that's, we got to get back to the things we do was the reason why we fight for the freedom to be able to do it. So, yeah,
man.
it's good news all around, bro, for real.
Really on that tip though, like just to share some, sentiments I'm feeling in my heart and in my soul, man. Like I'm neck deep in this hip hop culture. Is what I live, is what I breathe, is what I love, and it's been a lot going on in hip hop, man. I'm sure
Man.
some of y'all might have heard about Offset, what's going on, and I'm here in Atlanta, so I know people who know him. Like it's different, I'm not just watching it on TV, and it's just feeling like, man, we need to get back to the essence, and remembering that we just celebrated 50 years of hip hop and what it all means, and what looking at the culture. I know it's just a shooting downtown in Omaha. I mean, there's a lot going on in the community, and just need to get back to that peace, that love, that having fun, that ethos that hip hop was really about. And it was DJs that brought that to the community, man. We might need some park jams this summer. Like we need
Man.
to bring that love back. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm on. That's what I'm on. It's not just getting new equipment, but it's bringing back that energy, bringing back that vibe, bringing back that essence back to the community because we need it. We need it.
Love it. Love it. It is love supreme is what we call it. It's what it's all
Hey,
about. It's all about that for us. So we're going to talk a lot more about love supreme stuff, especially on Friday. There's a lot of
yeah,
events coming up on the weekend. Today though is Wellness Wednesday. Like Marlon
yeah,
Harris is saying, he says, "Good morning, First Sky fam, and happy Wellness Wednesday." That's what's up. We're going to figure out how to be well today.
man.
Also, shout out to Michelle Moreno getting up and giving us a good morning. Appreciate that. Morning, y'all from RG. Hey, hey. Also, Leah Keister in the chat saying, "What's up, Wednesday?" Appreciate you coming
Player,
through.
player.
Yeah, Marlon Harrison. RG says, Marlon says, "Wellness Wednesday." I'm gonna say Weird Wednesday. This
Hmm.
time yesterday we had a slushy snow on the ground, and now we're going to flip to 70 something degrees today. Yeah,
Yeah, I saw some of the imagery on. Yeah.
yeah. I'm
Hmm.
happy for the flip. I'm happy. I don't care how we got here as long as we get to 70 something. As far as I'm concerned. Yeah, that slushy mess yesterday was a hot mess. Judy Prindler says, I am back. Good morning, fam. Appreciate you.
Hey,
Yeah, how
hey.
was your trip? Tell us how your trip was. Pops in the chat says, good Wednesday morning and mad love from Las Vegas. Appreciate you, Pops. Also, Sean McCarthy says, morning. Hope everyone is good today. Congratulations on the new DJ board, buddy. That's what's up.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Yeah,
And man, congratulations on the new gig too. When you start, how things going? What's going
yeah.
on?
Yeah, if you haven't heard that late that bit of news, breaking
Man,
news, Sean McCarthy found a job.
man, I'm
And
proud of you.
yeah, man, he is 150 or something crazy. He put a lot of applications in, and I'm just thinking about like stuff that I've been reading lately about like people using AI to put applications in and kind of like
Mm.
to be represented by AI so that they don't have to do all that work. Sean McCarthy was out there sweating, putting them applications in. He didn't have no help. He didn't have no help. He made sure that stuff happened. So shout out. Judy Princess says the trip was great. I'm jealous, Judy.
Okay,
I need a trip myself. For real, for
where'd you
real.
go?
Yeah, give us a little heads up on that. Appreciate that. Sean McCarthy said third day at the new job. Insanely hectic, I bet. He said, but so glad to be on the other side. I heard that, bro.
Man, for sure. Actually, speaking of AI, I know that you were applying in that realm. You said you were looking for some kind of AI code, um, industry type jobs. I wonder where did you land? As far as what's the new gig? What you doing?
Yeah, if you care to talk about it, he says
Yeah.
185 applications, 20 interviews, and a ton of sleepless nights. Whew.
Man.
It turned into a full-time job just to look for a
Just
full-time
to
job.
find a job. It's crazy. It's crazy,
Totally
man.
crazy.
But
We
I'm
have
glad you mentioned the AI. We definitely gonna touch on that a little later on. So yeah.
absolutely. Yep. We'll have a lot to talk about when it comes to that and a few other things. Before we get there, though, we're going to jump into some of the top headlines. We got lots of stuff going on all around town. I think I'll probably start a little bit with some of the guests that we got coming on. There's actually a film that is getting ready to drop. No knock, no
Man.
charge. The Amir Locke story. Shout out to the family who put this together. We'll be speaking to Karen Wells shortly. She'll be on the show on the day of this film dropping. So stay tuned for that. I'm kind of starting
Man.
right now with the special guests that we got coming on the show. So yeah, this is going to be heavy. We'll give you some more information on that the closer we get to her visit, the family's visit. As a matter of fact, some updates on what's going on in the Amir Locke case. Also, we'll be having we just secured Senator John Kavanaugh. He'll be on the show in the next week or so. I believe it's a week and a half. He'll be on the show
Tony.
too. We'll need to talk a little bit about what's been going on with him and his run, some of the concerns and so on and so forth. It's going to be something else. Also, Senator Michaela Kavanaugh is going to be back on our Senator Cipher Monday, coming up Monday. So we'll be talking to her about some things that's going on too. This is her last run too. We just talked to Senator Ashley Spivey on the last Senator Cipher, and she mentioned some of the things that she's going to miss, which is, the allyship of Senator Michaela Kavanaugh being one of them. So we'll definitely talk to her about what's going on and what's coming up next for her. So shout out to her for agreeing to come on the show as well. We'll be talking to her very, very soon. Also, don't forget today, we'll be talking to Brother Raheem Sanders. If you guys don't know him yet, he's been around for a little bit doing some work in the for-profit sector, not so much the nonprofit sector. He's kind of one of these guys that really wants to enhance business and really kind of help and help what's going on. That's one of the reasons why we be talking about AI today as well, what we can do to enhance business. And he's been a speaker the last two times at the Revive Business Summit that the Revive Center's been putting on. So I've been able to hear some of the ideas that he have, and we've been talking about Lincoln for a while. So shout out to him for coming through. It's going to be a good time. Also, don't forget, speaking of guests that's coming on, we'll be a monthly meetup with the mayor is happening. And it's taking on some new significance that we'll be talking about here shortly as well. But he will be here on the 17th. We'll be catching up with Mayor John Ewing, put some respect on his name, and talk a little bit about what's going on in the world of his office. Lots going on in his office as well. So we'll be talking about that too. So shout out to him. Shout out to everybody who's agreed. Shout out to the Culture House. Culture House has added some candidates for their new primary election candidate forum that's coming up here shortly. So yeah, this will be happening in a couple of days as well. And they've added some people to the list here, as you can see. So shout out to Culture House for doing the good work. Man, there's gonna be lots of people. I see some people on this list here I definitely want to talk to. Michaela Danner is on this list here. I see Aaron Feichinger. who is a powerhouse
Yeah.
around here as well. Can't wait to hear what she has to say. There's some folks here that we definitely want to talk to. Brother Justin Wayne's going to be there. He's running for office as well. So lots going on. I see John Kavanaugh on there too. So we'll be able to hear from him even before he comes on our show. Yeah, lots going on. They're doing the good work over there at the Culture House. Shout out to Marcy Yates and the Culture House in a big, big way.
Man, getting down.
Getting down. It's going down. I'm going to save some of these other ones. We definitely have a lot going on. One of the things that I do want to share though too was this history of
Oh,
Malcolm X that is out here. Jay Hanna of the North Omaha history fame has been still doing the good work. He don't even really live around here anymore, I don't think, but he's still doing the good work of digging in. And this was a super interesting one that he just dropped. I'm gonna drop the link in the chat so you guys can go check this out. That's not it. Where is it? I'm all over. I got the wrong one. And actually, I misspoke. It's not Jay Hanna. I'm looking at a whole different set of notes. My bad. Yeah, Omaha history.
Adam Fletcher
Adam
Sass.
Fletcher Sass. Thank you. I'll get you that link shortly. But yeah, definitely check
Man,
this out when you get that link. This is an interesting kind of article that he wrote about when he, this is after Brother Malcolm came back from Mecca and stopped through Omaha to speak. So yeah,
mm,
this is something I definitely think you want to check out. Shout out to Adam Fletcher Sass for still doing the good work around here on this stuff. And like I said, I'll get you that link in a minute. It is over on Friends of First Sky Omaha as well for you to go check out. But I'll get you that link so you can go check it out. But yeah, man, very interesting stuff happening around just information and history when it comes to North Omaha. I'm seeing a lot more of that lately. A lot more people talking. That's what it's all about. That's what it's
man,
all about. So we appreciate everybody who's a part of that fight as well, just to preserve the history around here in a big way. That's news gang activity.
news gang, news gang.
Yeah, I'll save some more of the haps for a little bit later on in the show. Like I said, there's a lot going on, so we'll spread it out throughout the show, and then of course talk more extensively about it on Friday, Love Supreme Friday. But in the meantime, between time, we do have a thread we want to jump on in anticipation of our guest, buddy. What's today's thread? What's going on?
Yeah. We're bouncing around to a few things. I do want to. You kind of had a little Freudian slip mentioning Jay Hanna, and I do want to give him a shout out on the work that he's doing on TIFF. Again,
Yeah,
this is season 4. Follow the money, and he's been poking and prodding and trying to find out, really doing our style. He has a question. He's going to the people who's close to the thing, who's making the decisions. Asked the senators on Monday about micro TIFF, and now he's releasing some information. So we're gonna have to look into that in later shows. A big shout out to Chat Chimer friend, the first guy, a news gang, if you will.
man.
Jay Hand doing the work as you see, compiling the information and following the money. So yeah, that's what the season is about, and not necessarily TIFF, but we're definitely gonna follow the money today, more so focusing on AI. But before we get to that, we do have a few other things to dive into. As Paul mentioned, we got to talk about this whole Gene Stothard, Mary Ewing situation. Apparently, Gene Stothard is putting out some invitations trying to get staff members of Mary Ewing onto her show, and he says not so fast, my friend. But we got some things coming up. So definitely be talking about that here in a second. And also, speaking of things coming up, it looks like a new position is coming up in Mary Ewing's office. Of course, we spoke to some of the other positions that were formerly created, talking about the Jobinista, Sister Raquel Henderson, and her new position in the mayor's office. But now another position being created with some funds. We're going to follow the money, where those funds came from. But also, for me, it's some interesting things as far as some of the partnerships that will be created as a result of this job. So yeah, we're going to dive into that and kind of share my thoughts about some things that I'm seeing and some comparisons. As you know, my brain works; everything is connected. If you ask me. In other news, definitely looking at again, we're weeks away from the election or primaries coming up as far as midterms go, and there's actually opportunity to mail early as far as mail in votes and yeah, we're gonna have to look into that, especially while you still can via the Save Act. They're still hanging in the balance. So definitely going to jump into some six to dismiss stuff. Again, revisiting Governor Pillen getting called out by conservative group Unicamera Watch. We have to talk about that because it's not just the fact of them calling him out, but what they're calling him out about is quite interesting to see conservatives, the constituency, the GOP constituency calling out data centers, which we got to get into the
Ooh,
whole AI situation of it all. Again, we're seeing data centers grow and we're seeing the red carpet be laid out for the development of data centers. But let's really dive into the good, the bad, and the ugly of AI as it's making its way more into government spending, government budgeting. We'll definitely have a story coming out of Iowa about that. But also, as Paul mentioned, our guest looking at some of the good sides of AI and how it can help all of us, continue what we're talking about last episode on Monday, developing business in North Omaha. How can we use it for our own end? So again, we're going to be diving into all that and more. If there's something we're not touching on, missing the mark, of course, they're still trumping his unhinged threats. If you want to get into that, we can find a connection because again, it's all impacted, man. So again, we're going to be here for the next 2 hours. Let your mind be free. Let your voice be heard. In the meantime, between time, right on time, Paul B.
Yo,
What's the word? What's the
man,
word? How you doing? How you doing?
I'm doing all right, doing all right. Still searching, still trying to find balance, find some rest,
Man,
find some work balance, all the stuff. But doing pretty good though, and then definitely anxious to have some conversations here. I'm glad that we're able to bring some folks on that spoke at Revive. So shout out to Brother Raheem for agreeing to come on. We'll talk to him shortly. Sean McCarthy says it's a conversational AI design position at what's the name of this company? 5 9. Okay. I
Okay.
think virtual assistant like Alexa. Okay. That's what's up.
Okay.
Appreciate that. That's information on the new job that you got going on. Conversational AI designer position. Lots of vibe coding and conversational AI design things going on around town. So it looks like you're right on the cutting edge of the technology. We'll definitely be diving in and talking about some of that technology. This show, as a matter of fact. So stay tuned. We got lots going on. Do us a favor, share the show if you're on Facebook. Share it on your page. Easy way to do that. If you're on YouTube, share the link. And let's get as many folks in on the conversation as we can today. So we appreciate you coming through. Shout out to Donnell Sessions giving us a good morning. Appreciate you. We'll take a quick break and we'll come right back and jump into the conversation. And then hopefully very soon get to the conversation that we're going to have with Brother Raheem. Stay tuned for Raheem Sanders. We'll be right back, y'all. Welcome back. First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, buddy to God. We do this show 3 times a week, 7 to 9, and we've been doing it for about 5 years now. So, the other day I kind of woke up going, First Sky Omaha in the morning, and I was like, "What am I on the show?" That period of time in between you waking up and you're fully conscious, you don't know if what's real yet. I was like, "Boy, I'm singing this song in my sleep." Been doing it for quite some time, and we're still here. We're still here, and I feel like some of the things that we've been working on for a while has been paying off. We definitely have a style that we've been trying to implement here this last 5 years. Being able to have some respectful conversation with each other. I want to see that continue on in our chat, in the Friends of First Sky Omaha, where you guys come to have the conversation when we're not live. So I just want to reiterate that there too. We definitely need to make sure that we're not attacking each other. And please follow the style. If you're on our pages anyway, follow the style. If you want to disrespect black women and talk crazy and do whatever you want to do that somewhere else on your own channel. But just want to remind everybody that we're here speaking to each other in the chat as if we are speaking face to face, and doing it with respect, doing it with love supreme, so that we can get somewhere with that. And I got to remind everybody that about that from time to time. We got to make sure that we can keep things cool. So shout out to
Man,
our wonderful, wonderful chat. Our chat that is one of the best chats around because of this principle that we feel like we're trying to implement here. And let's keep doing that. And speak with earnest endeavors
come
to
on, man.
get with each other, not just force our own opinions, not just not be disrespectful in the process, and so on and so forth. So appreciate everybody that has been doing that, not just here, but also on Friends of First Sky Omaha, the group page on Facebook, and we'll continue to do that. So shout out. RG says, "BZ up here running on autopilot for real, man,
Man,
for
if only
real."
you knew. If only you knew.
I can't say welcome back without going welcome back every time I do it now. For
Hey,
in any context, it is what it is. But one thing about that is all that stuff is autopilot. But these conversations, they're pretty
man,
stimulating every show. Every show. I appreciate y'all. Heather Williams
it'll
gives us
wake
a good
you up.
morning too. Well, go ahead and jump into the conversation, buddy. How you feeling about that? You feeling
Yeah,
great
no,
about
I'm definitely appreciating what you're starting off with, and that's kind of the energy, man. If you don't want trolls all in the conversation, if you don't, want pointed questions, if you want to come to some understanding, have some respect, have some dialogue, come to First Sky.
man? You don't want producers dancing all in your video. Come to First Sky.
Come on, man. Come on. Because that's the energy. That's the energy. That's what we on. Of course, we're starting off with I mean, it's affirmative, it's affirming, it's positive for us, maybe not for other, talk show hosts out here, but it's a good sign for us. If you don't know what we're talking about, talk about this Mayor Ewing post. Again, calling out former Mayor Gene Stothert. Yeah, let's start there. Let's start
She's
there.
she's now in the field. She's
Oh
not
yeah,
a mayor
she's
no more. Now she's on the talk show circuit.
she on our side. She on our side. And if you don't know, again, former Mayor Gene Stothert has a show on KFAB, and apparently she's been reaching out to staffers of Mayor John Ewing, her former staff. Quite interesting.
Mhm.
And Mayor Ewing said, "Not so fast." For those who haven't seen the post, just reading briefly, in response to a request for city directors appearing on former mayor's show, before I even took office, he says, I saw value in their contributions and in reducing the disruption that can come with the new administration. Talking about, again, retaining most of Gene Stothart's staff. And he says, while we appreciate and acknowledge the former mayor's many years of service, we are declining her request to host city department heads on her show, sending senior leaders to explain or defend my administration's actions to a hardly objective host puts them in an awkward and potentially compromising position. We do not believe would be productive. We will continue the long-standing practice of this office in most large organizations of vetting media requests. We will continue sharing timely, fact-based information through press conferences, news interviews, public meetings, and more. And in conclusion, as mayor, he says, I have personally tried to say yes to most news media requests, whether they come from student journalists, startup news organizations, or large legacy media outlets like KFAB. And I will continue to do so as my schedule permits. And apparently, his schedule doesn't permit what's going on over there at KFAB with Mayor Gene Stothert, but he has some room on the 17th coming up for us. So definitely look out for that monthly meet up with the mayor. Big shout out to Mayor John Ewing for giving us access, for allowing us to speak to him, giving us, again, an insight into what's going on at the city level from the official that, many of us voted for. And again, I will say it was not for, not trying to get Mayor Gene Stothert on, although we might not have, similar styles. We've reached out before. We've reached out.
Once. Um, uh, and I will say that too. That's kind of reason why I kind of brought up the idea about style, because I do think that everybody's trying to get to whatever truth they're trying to get to, and it really kind of depends on the style. And I think that might be one of the reasons why we're able to have some of the access that we've been having. So, KFAB's been doing things for a long time. They're pretty proud of being kind of a right wing radio channel. In the Rush Limbaugh kind of vein, and Sean Hannity and that type of thing. That's kind of what goes on over there. So, kind of not a surprise that Gene Stothert is gone in that direction. And it's got a show over there. I mean, it's actually pretty cool when somebody decides they're going to get into the game here and use their access to be able to talk to some folks and get down to the bottom of some news and things like that. Of course, if you have an agenda and the news is a certain way, or it's a certain slant to it, then that can cause some issues when it comes to who decides to come on the show. We've been called the most left wing radio in Nebraska by some folks that kind of know what's happening. So I'm not surprised when we reach out to some folks and they decline to come on the show. Happens to everybody. Happens to us all the time. You don't see a whole lot of folks on the show that are from the Republican side. A lot of times, it's not for lack of asking, but it is what it is. So I would, just say, hey, figure out where you're coming from. If you're coming for truth, if you're coming from a position of trying to bring people together, it might go a different way, But yeah, I can understand why the mayor and the mayor's office is kind of declining to engage in, even over here. Like we would never bring on anybody here to put them on the hot seat. It's just you're not getting nothing done with the hot seat situation. Might get ratings, but that might be why we have the listenership we do, and they have a bigger one. Whatever, it doesn't matter. I just think that it's important for us to figure out the reason why we're trying to have these conversations in the first place, not just talking to talk, but like get down to some solutions, some answers here. I do have to acknowledge that there was a back and forth on Friends of First Sky Omaha about this as well. There's some folks on there. I believe Anthony Rogers Wright is your argument has been that he should be on the show talking. He should use the same style as Mamdani, and be confrontational and get on and do that. It may not be his style, and I think that kind of is what that's about as well. Don't really see him. He speaks, but he's not the fiery kind of back and forth as other politicians are. You kind of got to play to your strengths. But I did see a lot of back and forth about people that wanted that to happen. Anthony Rogers right in the chat right now saying, would First Sky ever have a conservative personality on the show? Of course, we've had them. We've had we had Ricketts on the show back in the Mind and Soul days. So of course, it would be a different kind of show. We would have a different kind of conversation. As a matter of fact, if you go to our YouTube page, we did some interviews with some candidates. There are a couple of candidates, conservative candidates that decided to go ahead and be interviewed by us. So you can see how that went over there as well. But yeah, just really kind of interesting story and a lot of back and forth dialogue. I appreciate everybody's back and forth dialogue. Please stay respectful to the people in the chat that are having that back and forth dialogue. That would be ideal. But we're all speaking about our opinions about what we think how that should go. And we appreciate everybody's opinion on that. Sean McCarthy is in the chat saying any person who says left leaning isn't listening to this show. That's
appreciate that.
I think each side of the political spectrum gets a balanced treatment. Yeah, I don't know. I would push back on that a little bit. I wouldn't have called us that either, but I do trust the person that said that and brought that to the attention of us. Kind of made me kind of go back and think about like where we're coming from. We definitely are leaning towards the progressive side of everything over on this side. If you want to really start picking out what sides, and as far as our guests is concerned too, a lot of guests that are left leaning guests are very happy to come on this show and come regularly. So I can see that. But I hear you though. Yeah, we definitely are not partisan, and we are absolutely trying to speak to everybody in our community for sure.
Right.
Michael Lee in the chat says her show literally doesn't do anything for him. I could see that. This is what Anthony Rogers Wright was talking about. Zora Mamdani wasn't controversial when he went into Trump's Oval Office, and that's why he won the day, among other reasons. Very true. Mayor Ewing is not Mayor Mamdani is not Zora Mamdani.
Yes,
different styles. You know what I'm saying?
Different styles, different locations, different people, different constituency, different problems.
There you go. Sean McCarthy saying this program definitely leans more towards community journalism, where most of the topics are focused on solutions. I appreciate that's a great definition for what we're trying to do here. I appreciate that.
The idea.
RG says Ricketts came on the show. Wow, he didn't request some guardrails. Of course they
can too.
Of course they did. Are you kidding? That's the one thing about that is there's a whole lot of people that I've asked on the show that wanted a layout of every single question, every single talking point, and I hit them back with this. we have a really organic conversation on this show, so we don't really have points. We're just going to talk about what's in the news and so on. And a lot of people don't like that and decide not to come on because of that.
And I think that's the biggest thing. The biggest kind of reason we get people not coming on is not necessarily they feel like we're going to attack them or we have a left leaning or a certain lean. Is because they didn't get all the questions beforehand. They don't want to have an actual conversation. Like that's our style. Like let's, regardless of your political ideation, I'm of the feeling that I can have a conversation with anybody about anything because I'm a human and we can meet on that level.
Man, I mean that's what this is for. Not for us to go through your kind of your talking points for your candidacy. Appreciate that. Anthony Rogers, right? It really depends on what is considered left. There are podcasts based in Omaha that are straight up socialist. True, that's what I mean. Like we wouldn't. I don't think I would label us any of these things, but other people do. So that's what it is. Donnell Sessions says the ex-mayor didn't seem to want to speak to people when in office, so I'm surprised she wants to now spend her time talking to people. Yeah. It was. I feel that sentiment. I was very surprised that she was going into that as well. Like I said, we had reached out to her once to come on to the show, and we never heard back. So we can't even say she declined. We just never heard back, which is kind of mostly how that works. So I appreciate that. Anthony Rogers is saying nobody. Many of the same problems: affordability, house, less people, police issues, climate change, wealth and income inequality. There are numerous issues facing NYC, also facing Omaha. Okay, yeah, true. Still, I think it's a kind of a different situation, different style, different area. Also, Black Dynamite says Bacon was on Mine and Soul. Michelle fired him up. Bacon has called our office
Demanding.
demanding we have him on the show. Yeah, like several times. So we all know that was kind of his style. He was really, really, really on the north side, kind of on the north side. Really, as far as I'm concerned, really not saying nothing, but always showing up and he was always on 95.7 The Boss. He came on Minus Hill several times. Believe did he come on? No, we didn't. By the time we started First Sky, we weren't really engaging too heavy with him. But he did when he was running for office during the First Sky years too. He was really demanding to come on the show. He had his office call several times, like really kind of like pushing to get on. So it is what it is. We'll move on from this after Anthony Rogers Wright post El Haj Malik Baldwin, Fannie Lou, Ida B. Ida B. went into enemy territory, shows all the time to spread their truth, which is a major part of their respective legacies. Very true, but there's a whole lot more people in behind the scenes doing work, going in, doing it a different way. This is why these folks have stood out. Because they were revolutionary in that way, and they went in and did something that was out of the ordinary. So how does people who are working within the realm, in the ordinary realm, they're kind of working? Have you drop your mic? What you?
Yeah, I dropped my tablet. But anyway, my bad. Also, there was a different political different media landscape during those times too. You don't really.
That's true.
It's a lot of Fox News and CNN. It's a lot of silos media wise out here, and back then it was kind of more. You had more clashes and converging ideas or opposing ideas coming on the same show.
Yeah. It would be great if our mayor was wanted to go and fight everybody face to face. If that was his personality and style, cool. But he has a different personality and style. I'm trying to learn to appreciate that and see what he can get done there.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not not going to be the same, and that's what it is. But we'll move on from there. I appreciate everybody who's commenting here. And again, there's a lot of discussion happening on Friends of First Sky Omaha, which is our group page. That's kind of where the conversation goes when we're not live here. You can continue talking about it there, and everybody kind of voicing their opinions there, and just just keep it respectful. But we appreciate everybody's opinions for sure. With that, we'll move on. Wait, what do we see here? Two more posts real quick. RG says, all these years later, I'm still wondering what was Bacon's agenda for showing face in Black Omaha spaces. I'm wondering that myself, bro. Also, Heather Williams says things are different now. Back then, we had to go to enemy territory to be heard.
We had to.
I would argue we still do. If it depends on who we're talking about needs to hear us, but
Mm.
yeah, but in some instances, this is why I'm not downplaying anybody who does go to enemy territory and does that. I just also think there's also some building here. For instance, I feel like us and our style, our show, we don't go to enemy territory. We kind of pulled back from that early on. Like, no, this has got to be more of a conversation with people that we're trying to bring around. You know, some like-minded individuals, so we can kind of build some coalition. That's more important than going and battling. But I'm not taking nothing away from the battlers. Go out there and talk loud. Get in their face. You know, that might be that lane. This is a different. This might, and there might be some different lanes here that we're considering. So that's all we're saying. Like I said, we'll move on from there in anticipation of our guests. If you're just joining us, we're going to be talking to Brother Raheem. He's going to be coming through. Brother Raheem Sanders from PPRP Innovations is coming through. We're going to be talking a lot about what's going on with business, the for-profit sector in North Omaha, especially. I heard this brother speak a couple times at the Revive Summit, so we'll be continuing the conversation with him as well. And in the meantime, between time, let's go ahead and jump into the next article. 7:35 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, supposed to be up in the 70s today. So
Man.
I'm trying to keep that in mind. It's going to be a good day today. We'll just call it that. What's next on the agenda, buddy? What's happening?
Yeah, sticking with Mary Ewing a little bit, but jumping into a new position that has been created, following the money a little bit, and just really continuing our conversation about community development and Omaha's role, the city of Omaha's role in this. If you haven't heard, a new partnership director role has been created by a $750,000 community foundation grant. Again, the $750,000 grant will fund the new position called the Strategic Partnership Director position, which will actually be held by Jacqueline Morrison, who's the lead, or excuse me, who will lead the role to drive future city initiatives. She is currently with the mayor's office. I'm not sure. I believe you said it was chief of staff capacity,
I think
or
so. Mm-hmm.
working with the mayor's staff. But again, rolling into this new position, which is kind of interesting from a lot of perspectives. One, as far as where the money is coming from. Again, the new role, Director of Transformation and Strategic Partnerships, is the actual title. Will be formed using a $750,000 excuse me grant from the Omaha Community Foundation. The job will be slated with working to join forces with private groups to focus on shared priorities. One example of these such partnerships is a Churchick Park in South Central Omaha, where the Omaha Parks Foundation raised hundreds of thousands of dollars to add new pickleball courts. Morrison hopes to strengthen investment in a new rule. If the city approves the new position in April, again at the upcoming city council meeting, Morrison expects to begin the job in May 2026. Again, there's a few things jumping out to me for this. Of course, there's some ideas about the Omaha Community Foundation, it's where their money comes from, just some of the things that they fund. Still learning about the Omaha Community Foundation and myself. So anytime they make a move, my eyebrows perk up like, that's interesting. What are they doing with that? But also, and I might be reading into this too much, but again, this is just what's jumping off the page to me, this idea of private public partnerships. And of course, this is something that there's been some conversation. You think of what's going on with Logier and Miller Park. Some people having some feelings about that. And I will say it did jump out to me because that was one of the features actually in Project 2025. And again, we can have the conversation. But it was just interesting. Again, the proliferation of private public partnerships, and again, the fact that it was featured in Project 2025, and we're seeing more of these. Again, this is something I'm learning more about, but this is what's jumping off the page for me. Paul, what say you?
Yeah, same. Anxious to see what's going on. Also, the Omaha Community Foundation. What I do know about that foundation is that they're kind of the conduit for foundations and other families and other people and other organizations with money that don't really want to spend the time. Well, I wouldn't say don't really want to, but maybe cannot spend the time to kind of dig into who deserves some of this grant money that goes out. Some of the money that they are giving out because of whatever reasons, tax reasons, whatever their reasons are for providing money. Maybe they have an agenda or they have a idea of how they want to engage in charity, how they want to help. Omaha Community Foundation is like the liaison between those funds and who they give them out to. So you kind of have to apply when you apply for a grant from the Omaha Community Foundation or when you're a part of any of those things, it's them vetting you. It's you meeting whatever requirements that they set, because they're kind of doling out some of the money that they're getting from these other entities. So I also too kind of perk up a little bit when I'm finding out what they're doing. This is the first time I've heard an initiative happening that involved this much money and
Hmm.
in a position, and I'm also wondering about what that position is, what that'll mean. There's a lot of questions there that I would love to find out about, when it seems like it's going to be a lot of kind of city planning stuff, and like you're saying, like a lot of figuring out how public and private situations can happen as well. So it'll be interesting to see. I love the fact that our mayor is so accessible, and we were able to kind of meet some folks from his office and understand and kind of pay attention to that a little bit. Very interesting stuff for sure. Also, I see Tamara Dwyer in the chat. Good morning. Speaking to somebody from the mayor's office.
Hey,
Tamara Dwyer in the chat says she's the senior deputy chief of staff of economic development currently.
okay,
So that's
okay.
her current role over there at the mayor's office. And so, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this position pans out, where this came from, the origin of that, and all of that. It will be very, very interesting to check out. Speaking of Tamara Dwyer, shout out to her. She is our homeless coordinator. And she put this post out on Friends of First Sky Omaha too, understanding the eviction process. This is an event coming up here Thursday, April 9th from 5:30 to 7:30. Something to definitely check out. You can see there's a QR code there. We'll put this on Friends of. It's going to be held at 2419 Leavenworth in Omaha, and this will be a community information night. So some information about what's going on with the eviction process, laws, what your rights are. All these things are going to be guest speakers there. Dave Pontos, who's been a guest on the show several times, friend of First Sky Omaha, will be there
Mhm.
speaking along with some other folks. So definitely check this out. We'll put this in Friends of. Shout out to Tamara Dwyer for putting this up. Always doing the good work of finding some of these events and things that are happening, and sharing the information, making sure that we tackle this issue that we have of houseless friends and families.
Man,
So once again, it's been a pleasure to kind of get to know some of the folks from the mayor's office this time around. It didn't feel like we had access to that before. So
I'm saying, and again, thank you, Tamara, for actually sticking around in the chat, answering some more questions. Tony Johnson in the chat asking, is it common practice for nonprofits to fund city positions? Tamara says, yes, the city secures grants for staffing on a regular basis. So again, appreciate that. And yeah, just also with the whole private public partnerships situation, you know what I mean? I'm not necessarily suggesting that Mayor Ewing got it from Project 2025, but the fact that it is in there, I'm kind of curious, like how often are private public partnerships used on a city basis? Just getting more familiar with following the money on a city level. How does the city fund some of these projects? How does the city pay for some of these positions? How does all of this work? So again, appreciate your insight on that. And if anybody else has any more information on all of these questions, definitely let us know. Again, let your mind be free, let your voice be heard. But we're making our way through the first hour, man. Actually, getting close to the middle point of the show. Again, we do have our guests coming up here in a second. So yeah, we can put a pin in that conversation. Maybe pick it up on a later date. In the meantime, between time, Paul B, what
yo
say you?
yo, we got a couple minutes before our guest comes on. Guest is behind the scenes getting ready to come on through. So if what would you like to do? You want to touch on some of the things we're going to be talking about here in the second hour, and give them a little
Yeah,
recap?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Because again, as I mentioned, we're going to be bouncing around. I actually didn't anticipate spending that much time talking about the whole marriage situation. But again, we're here to have a conversation with all of you. So as long as you have input, we'll definitely acknowledge that. So appreciate that. But I did want to get into some other things in today's show. Definitely looking at AI in a few different areas. Of course, we've been talking about the proliferation of data centers in our area. Again, they're coming, they're here, they're growing, they're booming, and it looks like the red carpet is being laid out from a legal perspective. We do know there's a few bills dealing with powering data centers and, of course, the connection to AI. Governor Pillin has been called out about some of the things he's doing with data, but let's talk about again the good of it. We've talked a lot about the ugly and some of the I guess dangers of AI. We will continue to talk about that in the second hour. But I want to have a more full, holistic conversation. There are some good things that can come out from AI, and there are some ways to use it. So I definitely want to dive into that for the rest of the show, looking at the good, the bad, and the ugly when it comes to AI data centers and following the money. What does that mean? What does that mean?
There you go. We'll take a quick break and we'll jump back into the conversation. And we're anticipating our guests coming on, so stay tuned. Brother Raheem is going to join us shortly. You're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
My name is Paul B. He's Buddy to God. We'll be right back, y'all.
Hey.
There we go. Welcome back. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
My name is Paul B. He's Buddy the Guy. We got Brother Raheem in the chat with us. Good morning. Good morning.
Y'all? Greetings. How y'all doing today?
Man, top of the morning, brother. Thanks for joining us. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Let me tell you something, brother. I'm going to tell you right off the bat. You done made my day. I'm the tech guy around here. So you done made my day just having a microphone and some headphones on, knowing what to do on the thing. I appreciate you. Thank you.
You are,
clean feed, all the stuff.
Got all the things.
I'm trying to be like y'all,
That's what's going on, brother. Appreciate you, man. Please introduce yourself to the listeners, man. Let them know who you are.
All right, greetings, everyone. I'm Raheem. Work with an organization called PPRP Innovations. We provide full-scale data solutions from data collection to maintenance to analysis to reporting, and we even show people how to make money using their data. So we're full-scale data specialists. So nice to meet y'all.
Man. Yeah. Thanks for joining us. I'm still learning, kind of digging through the website. So definitely looking forward to this conversation and seeing how, these solutions lead to the bag, if you will. Again, the theme of this season is follow the money. So again, we're talking about government spending, how we can start business, investing, all of it. So definitely looking forward to your insight. It seems like you had a pretty big impression on my man Paul B here, speaking at the Revive Summit. Just recently, kind of speak to that, Paul. Again, what do you see? What jumped out to you? And let's get into it.
Yeah, I was just impressed by a lot of the things that was said, and that you do. So I kind of picture you as this cat that's coming in has done the research, understanding what's going on with business AI, with what it is that how we got to pivot, and also that you work in the realm of for-profit companies. Whereas we deal with a lot of nonprofit organizations and stuff like that around here, but you seem to come in and you have a lot of solutions for people who are starting small business and so on and so forth, and just been in that ecosystem. I've seen you speak twice now at the Revive Center events, and so and I'm just each time I'm just like I take away some good notes on what's happening, on how to do that, even down to just like. I think I heard you say last time, play to your strengths and hire your weaknesses, which was one of the quotes that I've been hanging on to in a big way. I'm making a list of my weaknesses right now, brother, because as soon as I get some money, I'm about to hire all of my weaknesses for real.
Well, that's good. Well, I'm glad you were able to take some things from that. Our job is to make sure the community is informed. So, yeah.
That's what's up. So yeah, just appreciate everything that you've been saying on there, man. And like I said, we kind of dug into your website here. I'll put the website up on the chat as well for people to be able to kind of dig in and see for themselves. But when I was going through your website, I just thought, man, there's so much more that you'd be saying in the meetings though that you're about. So I'm glad you're on to kind of expound upon the stuff, not just that PPRP does, but just your philosophy in the first place. So how is your helping? What is it that drives you to you're incentivized some kind of way to help small business, help Black business? Tell me about that.
Yeah, I think our number one goal is just to make sure that as many of us as possible can succeed. We've done work with some of the largest companies and organizations in the world, and a lot of their intentions about themselves. There's a lot of Black businesses, Black and brown businesses, or minority businesses, however you want to call them. There's a lot of them around. And the way that you develop a minority or a black or a brown business is different than how our counterparts would. So
Mm.
all of our intent is just to make sure that, all of our people have access to the resources that they need to get some money, So that's pretty much our inspiration around everything. How do we help empower the community to help win, to help get contracts, to help get funding? How do we help them to empower themselves? It's all about, collective impact. So that's pretty much what we focus on.
Beautiful.
We've been having a discussion here lately. There's an article that came out that we reported on where they talked about the uptick in black business
Hmm.
and how many black businesses there are. And I know you spoke on that on at the Revive Center. You gave some stats, but you also came with some caveats with that. You also was
Hmm.
like, this is where we're lacking. Can you speak on that? Where is the biggest gap
Oh,
with it
sure.
comes to black business? Yeah.
Yeah, the biggest gap is really access to the capital. So, like any business, our job is to make sure that we have constant revenue flowing, and every year we're trying to increase those different streams. But even with the data in the report, it's good that we have this massive influx of black businesses, especially in our environment. But you got to think about what it takes to develop and mature a business, and that
Hmm.
comes down to contracts. It comes down with relationships. It comes down to beating out your competitor, and that's kind of where our counterpart businesses have us beat. In terms of the capacity and the resources, but it really just comes down to access to capital. But all of that is really not our fault either. You
Hmm.
got to really understand what's going on to take advantage of it. And that's kind of where the gap lies. Like in Nebraska, for example, I think at the last time I saw you, we spoke about Nebraska state spending and Omaha spending. At the end of the day, both of them are going to spend. The question is who is getting those contracts?
Mm.
And they don't put that data out. So if you go
Mm.
out to the Nebraska or the Omaha website, there's no comprehensive data to show which share of those contract goes to these type of businesses. So in
Hmm.
terms of data, you can't measure what you don't have. So that is really a gap in itself. The government is one of the biggest consumers of goods in the United States, and all of that comes from small businesses. And if we're not accessing where the government is spending the majority of the money, and it don't matter if we grown 500%, we're not growing as a mature business because we're not having access to the capital we need to do the things we need to do. So that's one of the biggest gaps that I see right now that we're facing, but we can change that.
Man, I appreciate that. Kind of echoing the sentiment we've been, putting down as far as getting ready to take advantage of these government contracts,
Hmm.
having business not just started, not just, set up, but being ready to scale
Hmm.
is a big word in our communities. And I know, Paul, you have some questions, but I am kind of curious about your background before, kind of give people a little more context as far as your perspective, your thinking. Are you from Omaha? How'd you get into financing business? Those kinds of
Yeah,
things.
where you from, homie? Where you from?
Yeah, so nah, Omaha's my second home. I've been here for
Okay.
about like 15 years.
Okay.
I'm from South Carolina. I'm from the South. When I was in college, I interned at UNMC.
Mm.
So every summer I spent up in Omaha where everybody was in Miami and Cancun. I was out here chilling on Ames Street, you know what I'm
Hey,
saying? So
hey.
we did a lot of research back then. That's pretty much my background. I'm an epidemiologist. It's a big word for just data scientist.
Hmm.
So that's kind of where all of this comes from. By trade, that's what I did. We did it for universities. We collected data all throughout Nebraska and the Midwest. And that's kind of what I was mentioning earlier. We've seen what that looks like. We've seen what it takes to do 5, 10, 15, $20 million worth of research. And we want to make
Mm.
sure that the dollars that's coming in, that our people are getting some of that, because it can easily go to us, but we need to know what to do and how to do it. And that's what we do. We bring all of that fancy stuff that we do for all the bigger institutions, and we help package it so that our partners in the community can get a $5 million RFP, or can get a $10 million grant to do the same work, maybe even better.
Hello.
We gotta tap into when those opportunities come, whether or not we're ready. What have you seen is in Omaha, especially when it comes to businesses? You talked earlier about businesses being mature businesses,
Yeah.
and when you say that, what flashes in my mind is we have 5 to 10 employees makes us a mature business, or we have this amount of capital coming in, or we have access to this kind of capital. What first of all do you consider a mature business, a business ready to receive some of these contracts, and where do you see the gap when it comes to Omaha businesses?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I got some books out that breaks a lot of these concepts down in terms of
Okay.
how business and the development of one, those different steps, and how you can use the data to get that going. But essentially, a mature business is a systems backed, scalable business, something that you can go in another location and open up right on the spot, and it produces the same outcomes.
Mm.
And that's where a lot of us fall short, because to get a RFP, or to go after a contract or a grant, you have to have some sort of systems in place, because in order to get any of them, they want data. They want you to put together all of this documentation, pretty much giving them the
Man.
data from all of these aspects. And those systems help not only collect, but to validate that information. So the biggest thing in terms of maturity is how it's kind of like a human. When you're a child, you can't do anything on your own. You need your parents. Same thing with business. A mature
Mm.
business is a business that can go anywhere and hold its own, produce the same outcomes, might have a little challenges, but for the most part, it does the same thing. You can predict it based off the data. So that's what we classify as a mature business, a systems backed, scalable,
Mm.
repeatable model that you can implement in any place and any time.
Man,
Cool, cool.
I appreciate that.
No, you're welcome.
Really a kind of continuation of a conversation we had on Monday as far as businesses. Again, Paul, you kind of talked about the numbers, 200 plus businesses over the last 6 years,
Hmm.
popping up in Omaha. But
Hmm.
as you're kind of talking about mature businesses, and I'm thinking of some of the businesses that I know in the community, people have started, communities, no shade, us,
Hmm.
Shawnee, um, either even Idle Vital. A lot of the
Hmm.
businesses in the community are owned and operated by the same person,
Hmm.
the owner operator, and kind of think of how many businesses in our community can remove the owner from it and still run.
Yeah, not too
Kind
many.
of brings me to the second part of my question there, and which is what are the gaps that you're seeing as far as those things are concerned? And wait a minute, I'm seeing something here. I just noticed your artwork up top, and I couldn't read it, so I was like, let me
Oh
shuffle the
yeah.
deck a little bit here. Now, okay,
Man,
cool, cool. There you go, there you go. Hey,
Yeah,
okay,
my
all right,
daughter drew that for me.
that's what's up.
nice, nice, nice,
Appreciate you.
nice.
Okay, so now give us the hard news here. What's give us the medicine? What's going on with Omaha businesses? Where is the gap lie? What can we do? What have you been successful at helping when it comes to that as well?
Yeah, well, the biggest gap again goes back to the systems, and that's kind of some of the roles that we play, not only with Omaha businesses, but all the businesses we work with across the country. Is how do we take what you're already doing, and how do we start making some standardized systems with it? So our approach is really simple. We go through, we make an assessment, we identify where all the different touch points of the business, or so that we can understand the different types of data that comes in and can be related to it, so that we can put together some of those models that can support the systems. So that's really the biggest thing. It sounds like a small word, but that takes a
Hmm.
couple of months of work. Traditionally, it takes years of work to put those things together, but it's
Hmm.
2026. We got AI. We do a lot of trainings on that as well, teaching organizations how to utilize AI, because if you understand how to use those tools, again, you understand how to use the data correctly, instead of taking 2 or 3 years or hundreds of thousands of dollars to use people to perfect that systems, there's tools you could put in place right now that we can
Hmm.
integrate within a couple of months. That's what in total maybe $100 a month, and it can help develop some of those systems for you. So that's the gap, and maybe that's the medicine as well. Making sure that the businesses that we are developing and cultivating in our communities, one, that we're adopting tools that can help us be more efficient, but two, making sure that we're using the data to help build the systems that they need, so that we're collecting information to validate the work that we are doing. So when it's time to go get an opportunity, a contract, or whatever the case, we can have that data readily available to submit. And then once we're awarded, we can have the systems in place to back it up. So it's really about the systems now. How do we use the new tools of AI to develop systems that traditionally it would take humans to do? And that's where we come in. And we got y'all back. So anybody that's interested, just give us a call.
Well, we
Man,
gonna dig into that a little bit. More
definitely.
questions on that for sure. It's 8 o'clock right now. If you believe in the concept of time, you're now in the second hour. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
And we
In the
with Brother
morning.
Heem. We with Brother
Yeah.
Heem right now, man, from PPRP Innovations. He's going to tell us a little bit more about some of that stuff. If you missed any parts of this conversation, you can always go back and check it out on YouTube because there's a lot of information that's being
Man.
laid on you here. So I definitely, if you're not able to sit here and take notes right now, go back and check it out, listen to it again. Tony Johnson in the chat is asking, what community models in other areas of the country would you recommend that North Omaha take a look at to address Black business growth and sustainability? Also, shout out to Katie Rain. Good morning. Seems like I
Hey.
chimed in. Great timing. Yep.
Yep.
Another new business owner. Shout out to the Dreamland Lounge and work that's happening over there as well. We've seen a big boost, a lot of growth. But
Shout
we
out
also
to
are
Katie.
seeing us having to be, like Buddy was saying, us having to be the ones that are on deck managing the situation firsthand. And how do we get to that point where we can grow in employees and so on and so forth? So we definitely want to dive in a little bit more about the kind of work that you do, maybe a success story or two from you,
Mhm.
and give us a kind of a breakdown and example of how you would approach a new business, how you would go in with your organization, use data, and get them to the next level. Maybe you can break some of that down for us, if you would.
Yeah, well, there was a question in the chat that I want to bring up real quick. So there is some examples of things going on in other places that we could look at to figure out how to better take advantage of our resources. We spent a lot of time in Tulsa, and we believe Tulsa is a really good example. Black Wall Street's right down the street. So they've been through tragedy, they've been through adversity, they've been through a whole lot. But every year they bounce back even stronger. And that, I believe, is one of the greatest examples that anyone could look at, but especially for Black businesses. I tell this to a lot of my clients, but if you really look at it in terms of the data, the same thing that's going on now happened 100 years ago in terms of the Black community. So this is really the second best time to be a Black American, because 100 years ago, right after Black Wall Street was started, a lot of different initiatives were started. This was fresh out of slavery, but there was a lot of things that impacted that growth. But even after that, the growth increased until there was a system change, if you will. But now we're in the same spot. We got fuller capabilities, maybe even more resources. We have introductions of new technologies. Now it's just really the time for us to work together. And that's what Tulsa does really good at. They work together. And that's just really what it comes down to. We have to work together. And back to getting to the bag. So a lot of these companies, especially in our community, especially with AI, going back to collective impact, we have to understand that we don't have to do this alone. Like my man Johnny Rogers says, if you doing it by yourself, you ain't get too far. You got to do it with somebody else. Okay. I don't know if you say it just like that, but you get the gist.
Definitely.
But back to the contract. So it'll be a little bit harder, say, for a community organization, even with the data. If an opportunity comes out, because it's fundraising season right now. So there's money flowing that people can get access to. But say there's a $3 million opportunity in this one community organization. It's a lot harder for them to apply individually, but collectively, if we came together and they hired you guys for marketing, they hired us for the data and evaluation, they hired other companies throughout the community for all of these other things, collectively, we are stronger. And that's one of the areas that we get beat out of the contract and the RFP system as well, because our counterparts, no matter how big they are, they go in with other people, maybe other peers. Think about, again, I don't know what the data looks like because they don't publish it, but Omaha spends a whole lot of money in construction, and we know some of the big guys that gets these construction contracts. And then most of the time, if they are spending money with the contract is with the subs, but a lot of those projects are built in with their partners. And that's what we
Hmm.
got to start doing. We think we can do it all by ourselves, but we can't. But collectively, we can get it done. And again, that's where we show evidence because this year so far, we just crossed into Q2 a couple of days ago, and we've
Hmm.
already raised our clients over $4.5 million. And it's just using data, identifying opportunities, working together, putting together the packages, being persistent, doing what we need to do, developing the systems, and collectively we can get it done. It's not that hard, but a lot of people don't want to work together. So until we fix that, then
That's profound. That's exactly what we see. I think that's exactly the reason why we do what we do. We got
Yes,
to try
sir.
to we try to bring that. What are the organizations that you work with that are trying to bring some collective activity here and some folks together and going after bigger dollars like that? Who you working with?
shoot, I think to be honest, there are a lot of organizations that do want to work together. And we need to be sure to tap into them. I could spend all day naming them, but then I don't want to miss anybody. But I do think, in terms of Omaha, the biggest organization is really uh, bringing everybody together that can touch these people is the Empowerment Network. I think the Empowerment Network is a good organization that if folks do want to get some opportunities, to be a part of a greater community of like-minded people, they're doing stuff every week, and those type of people are there. Every time we do stuff with the Empowerment Network, we always see the influencers and the business people and all the people, the movers and shakers. And those are the type of rooms that you need to be in. So, yeah, I can name everybody all day, but if you want to find out, contact the Empowerment Network. They know what's going on.
Hmm. Appreciate that. It seems like from what I'm learning about them too, every time I engage at all, the network is bigger than I think. Every time I think it's one size, I go in and figure out that it's a bigger size. There is actually probably a lot of collaboration and things going on with people around town that are trying to work together. And a
Hmm.
lot of those kind of bigger contracts happen. A lot of people in the community though feel left out from some of them groups and feel like there's some gatekeeping going on when it comes to that. Do you see do you see a lot of that kind of stuff happen in the community? Is that one of the reasons why the
Yeah,
community doesn't get together? Is the gatekeeping?
I see a lot of that, but again, I'm from South Carolina, so a lot of things that I know come from, old timey people telling me stuff. But people mention that all the time. And my daddy told me one time, as long as you do your best, nobody can stop you. And I think that's what the problem with gatekeeping. It's an illusion, because you
Mm.
feel like you came up so far, but then somebody is preventing you from getting in the way. But
Mm,
it's like Kobe Bryant said, if you work all the time and you perfect everything, nothing's going to get in your way. If you're always in the gym, when it's time to go to the game, no matter what happens, you've prepared for it. And I think that's what the illusion is with gatekeeping. They make it
mm,
seem like, oh, you work so hard and now we control it. But again, it goes back to the collective impact, because the work that we've been able to do, nobody can stop us. Right. As soon as we put our systems in, as soon as we got your data together, as soon as we are able to identify opportunities and we're working together to get that done, nobody's in our way. The only people that's in our way is us. Our,
Man.
our inabilities and our mental capacities on what we think we can or cannot achieve. If anything, if we get past, the illusion of gatekeeping and go back again to how Black communities used to be 100 years ago in Tulsa, Oklahoma, when Black Wall Street was a thriving organization, and then the neighbors came in and blew it all up. All right, we didn't have no military then, but we got military now. But that's a
Hmm.
separate combo. But they blew
Right.
it all up, and a year later, the Black Wall Street was more prosperous than it was before the blow up. And this was
Mm.
wow.
because they worked together, no matter the tragedy.
That's
So
it.
it's just one of those things. Is It's a mindset, and I think that's what we have to adopt if we are going to be successful, especially as it relates to business. Because I don't know how many businesses in a community has a goal to become $1 trillion business. And if you
Mm,
are in business and if you don't have a goal to become $1 trillion business, then why are you in business? You know what
mm,
I'm saying? Why are you in
man.
business? Because the goal of a business is to get the money so you could do more business. But if we're comfortable with the illusion of good business of what we're doing now, then again, that's another gap that's holding us back, So we really just have to have the faith, and as Black people, we are the magic, again, I think the system understood that at one point of time, and they changed the system to diminish how we feel about who we are and what we can do.
Oh
But
yeah.
all we got to do is just change our mindset, and then the universe will give you everything else you need.
Bro, you're blowing my mind right now with that this idea of the illusion of the gatekeeper.
Hmm.
As if we don't hop gates and hop fences all the time when they get if they're in the way, and that is something that is very profound. I want to look back at that at some point. But also, you just said something too about if you're not out here to be $1 trillion business, what kind of business are you actually doing? And I'm thinking about we're now right now in the era of one or two individuals making $1 billion businesses right now. So
Hmm.
it was predicted a couple years ago, and I just read something about a one man who has one partner, and those two people in AI have made over $1 billion in the health industry business. I can't remember
Yeah.
what it was. So with that, I know that you've spoken a lot about AI, a
Hmm.
lot about how to utilize these tools. Every time I've seen you speak at the Revive summits, and maybe we can lead in that direction, buddy. I know you have some thoughts on this as well. Maybe we can get into that discussion a little bit about some of the tools that we can use and how you see us using that and what that means.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
there's a ton of tools based on the needs, and that story is true, but there is not some truth in that
Mm,
because it kind of goes back to what we talked about with the collective impact. Because that
mm,
is true that homie, I think he's from North Carolina, him and his brother, they did develop the company. That is true, but the underline is a lot of the work that it took because they're two people. A lot of the work that it took, they contracted with their peers, so they
ah,
built this $1 trillion company. So guess how much their subcontractors, their friends are getting out of this too. You know what I'm
It's the only
saying?
way it
And
works.
that's why we got to keep in mind that we can't do it by ourselves. If we don't go far, we got to go together. But there's a lot of tools based on your needs, based on the industry. Tools are popping up every day. I think the biggest thing though is aside from the tools, you got to understand the theory behind the tools, and we teach a lot of trainings about that. It's kind of like because I'm not a mechanic, but if I went into an auto shop and started picking up some of those tools, half of those tools I don't know how to use. So whether I got it in my hand or not, until I understand the theory behind the usage of those tools, none of the tools are useful. It's the same thing
Hmm.
with AI. So it's not about the tool, it's about the framework that goes with the tool. So we teach a lot about how to employ that framework. So no matter which tool you're using, you know how to use it, you know how to get the outcomes that you're expecting, and then you can start integrating it the way that you want to do. So it's not about the tool, it's really about the framework. But once you understand the framework, there's a lot of different tools. So of course, QuickBooks, they got a lot of AI stuff now. You
Yeah.
got Govly. There's a AI called Govly that you can go in, and it's pretty much government contract AI. So
mm,
you put in some information and it sends you data about the money that's flowing in and out of your community. Of course, y'all probably know about Chat GPT, but we spend a lot of time with tools like Claude and Perplexity. That helps us a lot with research and doing more things with data. But again, it's really based on the industry. One of the hot industries that we do a lot of work in right now is construction, because they
Mm.
swear to God that AI is going to take everybody's jobs, and they can't see it quite yet in construction. So we've been doing a lot in that realm to again teach the frameworks. It's not about taking the jobs. Somebody can only take a job that you don't earn. You know what I'm saying?
mm.
If you earn that job and you are better at that job than anything else, can't nobody take anything from you. So understanding the framework on how to use the AI would not only help increase your structure, but it'll help increase the jobs that people do have, because they can understand how to work with it a little bit better. But again, that comes back to the gap. So yeah, there's a lot of tools out there, but it's really upon the industry. And once you understand the framework around the AI, then you can use really much any tool, because you got to really think about a business. There's the work of doing a business, and then you got to build the relationships, then you got to meet the deliverables and get the outcomes, and then you got to do the customer service. There's a wide variety of AI tools to handle all of that. But without the framework, then just like me in the auto mechanic shop, man, just wasting people time.
Using every wrench like a hammer because they don't know how to use it.
Man.
So yeah,
But I can understand that in the construction side too. Claw can't swing no hammer yet, so you got to make sure you can do something with it. Buddy,
Yep.
what was your thoughts on some of the stories that we were talking about earlier about AI and stuff like that, and how if you had questions?
Yeah. Well, more so right now, I'm kind of thinking about talking about scalability and implementing two of the big words that Paul and I use is automation and delegation, and trying to figure out how to implement that in our processes and systems. But I am curious. We have a lot of conversations with the community, and there is a lot of distrust, not just amongst each other talking about collaboration, but distrust of AI and data centers and some of these things. And I am kind of curious. What are some of the challenges that you've come from or come across as far as just getting our people to understand some of these things that you're talking about, as far as the framework, how these systems are implemented, and those things.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest challenge, and it happens all the time. So what I'm about to say, it might sound, again, I'm from South Carolina, so I got a really different way
Hey,
of saying
hey
things.
man,
Okay.
the South got something to say, bro.
Yeah,
So
they
Hey,
do.
hey,
You
hey,
know what I'm
there you go.
saying? But what I'm about to say is not really particular pertain to anybody, because it happens to everybody all the time. But I think one of the biggest barriers in terms of that adoption, because that's what it is, it's adoption
Mhm.
of technology. Again, it happened 100 years ago, the same thing, when they was transitioning supposedly from the horses to the cars. People had all these suspicions, all this and all that, and it was just a lot going on. Same thing with the telephone. People always have these beliefs. It's always the beliefs. You know what I'm saying? It's the beliefs. Until you really know, you have no idea. And I'm not too sure of what you guys know, but you seem pretty smart. In 2026, nothing is really what it seems. You know what I'm saying? So
Man.
that's why you gotta, focus on your mental and your beliefs and what you deem is true, because that's the only thing that we got, especially as it relates with data. And that's our number one job, to make sure all the data that we get that is true. It's 100% factual. That's step number one. And that comes down to systems, because if you got the data to support systems that's 100% factual, you can now predict what's going to go on or what's not going to go on, no matter what happens. And I think that comes back to the question that you asked with that gap in the adoption. We need to be more open-minded about what's going on, and especially as it relates to trust in the community. When you go talk to folks, I understand there's some barriers, but all data is available to us. The wise people understand to listen to the data, though. And I think that's what we need to do more collectively, is listen, because usually when we get together, everybody think they know everything. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's so smart. Okay. But then if they're so smart, then why they going through all these challenges? But instead of acting like that, let's all get together. Let's all have a goal about what it is that we're trying to accomplish. And then instead of trying to dominate everything and act all smart about everything, let the experts be experts. Let us be the data experts. Let y'all be the media experts. Let them be their experts. Let them be their experts. And then collectively, we have a cohesion that we can go out and get any type of bag that we need, especially if we have the evidence to back that up collectively. So it's really about being able to listen to one another, being open-minded enough to understand we don't know it all. But if we are trusting enough to listen to somebody who knows a little bit about something that we need, kind of like what you said, playing, hiring your weaknesses. We know what we're strong at, but we know what we're weak at too. But there's other people that are strong where we're weak. And that's what we need to, get over. How do we come together so that we respect one another, so that we can listen to the areas that we need help in?
Like Dynamite, you said it. Lanes have changed. We was just
Man.
saying the exact thing, man. Everybody having their lane, and all those lanes coming together like a freeway that plowed through North Omaha, the 75. So
Mm-hmm.
if we can line our lanes up next to each other, then we can be a bigger force, a bigger road than
Mm-hmm.
just one road each. So how do you? You know what? I don't want to.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm excited. So I
Go
tend to
ahead. Go
roll.
ahead.
I
No.
tend to roll over Buddy's questions. I want to make sure he gets in. I'm just wanting to ask the question. how do we what do we do? How do we shore up that trust?
Yeah.
How do we? What's the steps that you've seen, especially if you've done work all around the country too. So you're not just here in Omaha doing work. So
Yeah.
our style of journalism is solutions journalism, which means go somewhere else and see how somebody else is doing it and bring it back here.
Yeah.
What are you seeing people do in order to be able to get together and trust each other?
Yeah, well, it goes back to old timey days, man, because everything today is just too much technology, man. Everybody got this and everybody got that. They on their phones and they doing all that. And that's the first step because back to the Tulsa example, when I'm out there doing my thing, they show up, they're there in person,
Face to
meeting each
face.
other, talking with each other,
Right.
engaging with each other, learning about
Community.
each other. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of these folks, especially in our community, they're saying all of these things about the challenges. You never see them out having conversations when it's time to have conversations. And like I mentioned, the Empowerment Network does a great job at that. Every month they're hosting things for people who can come together to talk about these things. Every Thursday they talk about the community and what we could do better and how we can work together. There's a conference coming up that's engaging with everybody. Attend those things. At least start there. If we can just start there, because just think about it. If all the Black and brown businesses and people just supported that and just start showing up there and just going to the conferences and just doing that, imagine what a change.
I can imagine it very much so. I definitely walked into some of them first meetings like side eyeing the whole thing. And it took exactly what we talked about. It took like we call it living in live with one another. That's what we call it
Mhm.
around here. Speaking face to face, having conversations face to face, understanding, getting to know each other. The only way that you build any trust with anybody for anything is living alive with them face to
Mhm.
face.
Gotta
So,
see them.
I can definitely definitely see that part. Give me a little bit on some of the present. What we're also understanding is that some of these businesses that are out here doing stuff like Empowerment Network, for instance, we work with Empowerment Network because of the very fact that sometimes they don't always talk enough about what it is they're actually doing and who's actually benefiting and so on and so forth. Because from what I can see, they just got their head down grinding on the work and don't really speak too much on it. How what do you see? We can That's first part of the trust is to meet up face to face.
Mhm.
Maybe the second part of the trust is to really understand what each other's doing, what each other's
Mhm.
lane is. How do you see we're lacking or strong in that area in this
All
in
right.
Omaha?
So if we did those, or even if we don't do those are the first two big steps, right? The next big step, I believe that we have a challenge on is just really getting together to have a goal.
Mm,
I used to go out all the time. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I used to go out, but this was in college, and I used to be so mad when I go out. Too bad it's 10 o'clock at night, 11:30 at night. Everybody out here having fun. You know what I'm saying? We talking about the clubs be packed. There's thousands of people in there. You leave and say somebody go out every Friday, you know, every Friday for let's say a year. Don't nobody in the clubs be talking about no business. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody talking about no business.
right.
Nobody talking about no business. So that's again coming back to what I was, it's just an example. That's what I'm mentioning though. When we do meet up, we are face to face. Let's be intentional. You know what I'm saying? If we are going to meet up, let's
Mm.
have a goal, whether it's an individual goal or a collective goal, at least have a goal in mind. Don't just come to be fresh or just to hang out or just to be seen. Now, if you're going
Center.
to show up, then show up, have a goal, and then let's talk about it, because if we're in person, you're going to have something to talk about, you know what I'm saying? But with a
Man,
goal in mind, at least we can understand where we can, have some shared direction in. And that's kind of really where it starts. We need to have a
mm.
goal. 100 years ago, again, I keep bringing it back to this example, but again, 100 years ago, there was a lot going on, and a lot of my brothers and sisters, a lot of the people that are descendants of Omaha now, they left the South. All right, they had a goal. They didn't just come. "Oh, I'm just gonna come to Omaha and kick with my cousins," and never, just didn't think past that. Now they had a goal. When I get up there, if I get up there, I'm going to do this. 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 Nowadays, not too many people have goals, and that's
Just
the
chilling.
next step. They just chilling, having fun, because it's cool, and being broke ain't cool. Ain't nothing cool about that. Okay. And
Man,
that's what we
ain't
are if
fly
we
at all.
just don't show up and have goals. But if we show up, You be in a place where folks are at and just have a goal. If you're about something, those three in all, again, they're simple steps, but it's a tale as old as time. This is what our counterparts is on. And, you go there and they're like, oh, you can do that. Oh, that aligns with our goal. Let's have lunch so we can set up and see how we're going to work together. And then just keep showing up. You got to show up. That's, I guess, the core of the message is show up. And if you're going to show up 100%. Don't be late. Don't be 50%. Don't show up just to chill. If you're going to show up, then show up, because time is valuable. We don't got time to just be chilling. You know what I'm saying? We got to show up. The world civilization almost ended yesterday. And you mean to tell me y'all still gonna be chilling at the club on Friday? Come on, man. Come on, man. Nah, you gotta show up, because even with that, keep in mind, money is flowing no matter what. And no matter what side of the field you on, war generates dollars. Who's getting them dollars?
I was thinking about that. This bet's being made. Actually, Iran put out a whole post saying that. Like Iran said, if y'all don't realize, Trump is just playing with the markets. Man, why do you think it's only attacks on the weekends when the markets are closed? Like,
I'm trying to tell you, man.
What we doing?
All this is a game, and the folks that don't understand what's going on, then they're just a part of the game. But the money's there. The money's flowing from the feds. It's flowing to the state. It's on the local level and international too, because somebody got to make the materials. Somebody got to make the uniforms. You know what I'm saying? Somebody got to host the internet so that they can do these things. Even comes down to little things. I see Iran be putting out these Lego videos. Somebody get paid to put up the Lego videos. You know what I'm saying? And they get paid a lot, because they need those videos. Okay. So if you just really think about that, there's so much going on. And if you show up, you be present, you got to go, and you're persistent, you can figure out, how to be a part of what's going on. And I'm not saying you got to support the war. There's other stuff going on that you can be a part of. Again, it's based on your industry. There's bills being proposed all the time. And bill is just another word for bucks. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be involved. You got to show up. You got to have goals. And that's just what it is. Don't get no simpler than that.
We're about 10 minutes past the agreed upon time. We won't have you on. We really appreciate you sticking around though and getting into this. I do. Before we let you go, just want to run one little direction here. You just was talking about Iran a second ago, and I was thinking about what they just put out here on how they bigging up Nipsey. Yeah, they put Pac. Nipsey, Pac,
Martin
Luther King, Malcolm X, all on the same. And I've seen videos. They're literally over there celebrating. And talking about the marathon continues. They have adopted the marathon continues in Iran, and this is what it's making me really think a little bit about like where we are as far as black business is concerned. Anyway, in the industry that's built on black folks and the things that we are doing that's affecting the world, even if it doesn't look like it's affecting here, and what an advantage we have because, like you said earlier, black people are the magic when it comes to that. And how it is that we need to really kind of tap in and understand our worldwide potential and our worldwide influence. And think in terms of that. Then when you start thinking in terms of that, and you start thinking, maybe I should put this $1 trillion company together. Maybe we should.
Now you should, man. Because if you're not going to do it, they will. And again, I'm not trying to, be like that. But you can look it up. Everything we're talking about, if you don't believe me, look it up. You know what I'm saying? But if you think about the black person, when we came to America, we were the first commodity. They knew what we were before, we even got here, allegedly, because we don't want to get down there. But the ones that we've been here, you know what I'm saying? But they sold us, you know what I'm saying? And they sold us for cheap. We brought in a lot of revenue because we didn't understand, that system. Fresh out of slavery, we understood that system. We ran that system. We built that system. And then we took that system and we owned that system. And then they changed the system. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of where we're at right now, because no matter where you're at, everybody knows who we are and what we're worth and what we're about. The system change, though, allowed us to forget about hanging out with each other. So we're not seeing each other face to face unless we're about to fight or go get some J's or something. And the system put it so that when we do get together, it's all in the realm of entertainment. You know what I'm saying? The system put it in our mind. No, you don't need no goal. Just go work for the man, and we'll get you all straight. You know what I'm saying? This is the system now. So I mean, it really goes back to the core thing that we talked about. If you change the system with your data that is factual, then you can control anything that you want to control, because whether you want to do it or not, somebody gonna make $1 billion off you. It'd just rather be me making $1 billion off of me, though. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's just what it's all about. And wartime really shows that, because at the end of the day, if civilization did end yesterday, Black people would still be here having a good time. You know what I'm saying? So
create new civilization like we did last time.
Because that's what we've been doing. Like we did all the other times before.
Man. Come on, man.
Yeah. And put the swag on the civilization.
Man, there you go.
8:30 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, buddy, you got any final questions? Heem, you got any final words?
Nah. The only final words is thanks everybody for the time. Thank you, gentlemen, for the opportunity to let me come on and talk about this. Anybody that's listening, we're based in Omaha, but no matter where you're at, we work where you're at. Okay, so if you want to do something with your data, if you're tired of doing all this work and not seeing no outcomes, if you're trying to get some of this money, because fundraising season is right now. They just announced money that they just released from the city, a couple of millions of dollars. I looked at the list. There's like one or two of our organizations on the list. You know what I'm saying? Wow. So anybody that's really trying to get to that bag, www.pprpinnovations.com. There's a page in there where you can go in, send us a message. We'll be down to work with you, but don't hit us up if you're not serious, because we're serious. We got goals. We're going to show up. We're going to make sure we do our part, and we expect the same from you. So if you're ready to work, just hit us up.
There you go.
Appreciate you, bro. We have to have you back. You get back in town and all that too.
Yes.
For sure. Thank you so much.
Pleasure, bro. We see you soon.
All right. Peace and blessings.
Peace. All right.
There you go. Yeah, hopefully y'all, gain something from that. I'm sure I did.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Wait a minute. Shuffle these cards. There we go.
Okay.
Yeah, appreciate that. Appreciate everybody who chimed in as well. Shout out to Katie Rain for coming in this morning. Appreciate
good morning.
Exactly, agreed. It's not an illusion. It can seem discouraging, but if the seed is planted, can't stop the growth. Man, heard that.
Yeah.
Also, RG said, if y'all don't take anything else away from today's show, being broke ain't cool. I like it. Hit the like button. Shout out to Ariel's World too. Please hit the like button on YouTube. Like, subscribe. If you missed any parts of the conversation we just had with Brother Heem, please go back to YouTube and check it out. It's very, very imperative that we dissect some of the things that are said, and we'll continue the conversation with him as well. Big time stuff. I was thinking, as far as this literacy is concerned, if you're serious, we're talking about it as well. There's all kinds of resources out there. Speaking of Empowerment Network, speaking of some of the individuals in the network, speaking of other speakers that speak at the Revive, Hayes and Associates. This is this team that's going on here. They got a 4-week literacy program that's coming up, and there's a lot going on here with this. I'm sorry, this is a different one. This is Home Team Auto Sales. Shout out to Home Team Auto Sales for their 4-week literacy program. And they actually started, I believe, last night on this one. Let me see if I bet. Yeah, April 7th started up. You can still dig in. Definitely check this out. Go to hometeamauto.com and check this out. Here's a 4-week literacy program that they're about as well. And then here's the Hayes and Associates, where we just talked about. Hayes and Associates has a 10-week literacy program that's coming up very shortly as well. I believe this is a free one as well. So shout out to Hayes and Associates, who do accounting. That's the lane that we're understanding that they're in, and taking advantage of that as well ourselves to get our books straight and everything that's going down. Shout out to Hayes and Associates, one of the top accounting services in the state. And they have a free literacy program coming up as well for small business owners, 10 week. There's so many things out here like that can level your game up. And I find out about them from the times that I go to the Revive meetings or meet with the Empowerment Network. These are some of the things that are there. There's a lot of stuff out there. Whether or not we have the wherewithal to take advantage of them sometimes is the question. But there's so much help and so many things out there to be able to get down. Get your literacy up, get your financial literacy up in this follow the money season in a big way. Definitely check this out. Go to Hayes and Associates, or you can hit that QR code. We'll put this in Friends of First Sky Omaha and get down with it in a big way. So yeah, appreciate everybody who is who we find out are out here to help and bring some cohesion. Every time we talk to anybody, we hear the same thing. Like Dynamite said it, we hear the same thing from everybody in these industries. Get busy in your lane, and then figure out how to put your lane next to somebody else's lane, and trust that road. Make that road bigger. Turn it into a freeway, a highway, a super highway. We can do that. But it's going to take us getting together. It's going to take us being experts in our fields and show. I think about that too. I think about when I think about my grandfathers and the kind of work that they did. I remember that they were very adamant on. I go to this person because they're experts in their field and they stay in their lane. That's what they do, and I don't got to worry about it. If you can use the service and then you don't have to worry about it because now that thing is getting taken care of from me because they're number one experts in their field, number two trustworthy business people who got some experience and been doing it, and number three you understand it. You understand what they're doing. There's no stopping it. There's no stopping it. So my takeaways from the brother was the first 3 steps that we need to do in order to get this togetherness happen. First of all, get face to face. Have some conversations, live alive with one another, be able to understand each other on a personal level that way. And then while we're there together, start understanding each other's lanes. Ask some questions. What do you do? What's your track record? What's happening here? What can you do for my business? What can I do for your business? And then the third thing is have a goal in mind when we're talking. It's not just get together to get together. You know us. We're musicians. We're artists. Love supreme. We like to relax. We like to have a good time. We like to get the party started. But I like that idea of also, doing some business. White folks be going to the golf course and playing golf while they're making deals.
I was thinking the strip club.
At the club,
the strip club, the Gentlemen's Club. I'm here in Atlanta, and I just, one of my OG DJs just kind of, really tipped it off, like really reminded me as far as what is the real culture behind the strip clubs. And we think of rappers making it rain and all of this flamboyant nonsense, but it's not really that. Like the actual, he was saying, like when I was growing up, the actual Gentlemen's Club culture was men coming together throughout the day, having a drink, talking about business. A gentleman's club, gentlemen coming together to talk about business, not just spending money on women.
And from what I understand, even nowadays where they are making it rain and so on, there's also music getting broke at the gentleman's club.
Come on, man. It's business.
Business happening. So it can't happen. We got to get back to it. I do think that in other places that I've lived, I've seen that more in social settings than I see it here. And so, yeah, I would love to see that more too. I'm definitely going to put that on my mind and try to be more intentional when I'm out, just kind of being whenever it is I am out, which is hardly ever, but when I am, I definitely want to think about that. This intention building. Let's think about it. Let's figure it out. What is it? What is our weaknesses? What do we need? Who do we talk to?
Exactly. Just gonna say this is why we big up the visitor center. This is why we big up the headquarters, the third spaces. You know what I mean? Yeah. Where else are we going to have the opportunity to come across each other and hear what each other are working on and collaborate? Where else is that going to happen?
Yeah, nothing works like getting in the same room. So a lot of times I'll be here on the computer struggling to figure something out for months at a time. I'll go out and have one conversation. What are you working on? I'm trying to figure this thing out. Oh, well, I can help you with that immediately. And it always comes back to me like, man, there's whatever the in front of the computer paperwork that I got that's spinning up all my time. I got to let that loose because I got to get back outside. We got to have some conversations, man. And shout out to, like you said, Visitor Center is turning out to be one of the headquarters for that. There's already been business deals and things that's popped off over there since that thing been open. For real.
Come on. That's the only way it's going to happen. That's the only way it's going to work. That's it. And also, while we're talking about it, shout out to Senator McKinney doing the work, getting the legislation passed for Innovation Hub, putting out the request. Again, all this is happening. There's opportunities now. And if we don't get past this whole trauma, distrusting of everything, we're not going to get anything done.
Yeah.
If we don't trust each other, if we don't trust some of these new systems, if we don't start building our new systems and get out of this, like, yes, the weapon is going to be formed, but it will not prosper. Keep that in mind.
Yeah.
We're too focused on the weapon. Where's the prosperity? When are we going to start prospering? And again, I'm not saying this in lieu of saying like there's no hurdles, there's no challenges, but that can't stop us. When are we going to have that mentality? It can't stop us, regardless of what it is. It's not going to stop us.
Bro messed up today using that. It hit me when he's talking about this illusion of the gatekeepers. There may be gatekeepers. Hop the gate, bro.
Man,
it didn't hit me today.
dig a tunnel.
Gatekeepers stop you, because that's the real thing. Like, the gate can still be open, or you can hop the gate, or you can whatever. The gatekeeper.
Look at Kanye.
Like, man, come on.
Look at Kanye. He's been blackballed in every sense of the word. I mean, talking about kicked out of the gate. He's lost Adidas contracts. He's lost everything. Still made millions of dollars because he built his own ecosystem. You can't stop Kanye. You can hate Kanye. You can disagree with anything he says.
Right.
Nothing you feel or do will stop Kanye because Kanye has that mentality that we need to adopt.
That's real. It's very powerful when we do. Tisa Harden in the chat, I appreciate you, says, good morning, beautiful people. Happy Thankful Thursday. Or is it Thursday? What is today? No, today's Wednesday. But I like that. Thankful Thursday.
Thankful Thursday.
I like that. See, I come from the culture where it was Thirsty Thursdays. I'm a DJ, so Thirsty Thursdays. Thankful Thursdays these days. That's nice.
Hey,
she says collab is the key.
Come on, man.
That's what it's all about. RG says, figure it out along the way. Just get started. That's real.
Hey, we all we got, but that's enough.
There you go.
Again, I keep saying it. Follow the money is not just about, spending. It's and not just about dollars and cents. It's about ecosystems. How do we come together? How do we build an ecology? How do we build an ecosystem? We breathe out, the tree breathes in. Nothing happens in a silo. Man. Nothing happens by itself.
Yeah. And I feel for the times when we do feel like we're out here by ourselves. So it's going to take work on the whole community's part to, first of all, recognize, no, we're not, you're not by yourself. And for us to recognize we're not by ourselves. It's a little bit to it, but it's here, and there's a lot of stuff that is going on. There's a lot of money flowing through. And the way that I'm looking at it is that there's ways, if you want to get some of that money, you can. That's the real part. If you feel like that's where the direction that you want to go and you're trying to go there so that you can further what it is that you're trying to do, it's there for you to do. You just got to kind of get busy and work with some folks. And you may not like them folks, don't agree with them folks, but this country is built on people making business deals that don't like each other. It ain't got nothing to do with that. Who all gonna be there mentality? Who got the money? Who needs what's the leverage? What do I need? What do y'all need? How can we do business? This whole system is built on people doing business with each other that don't like each other. That's not even the thing. That can't even be the thing no more. It really can't. Who's doing the best business here? Who's doing the thing that can help, that can enhance my business? What kind of business can I do with people? What can my business do to enhance the life of people here and help their business? I mean, if we don't do it, then we're flopping around. And again, we keep on saying if we don't do it, we're doing it. It's being done. There's organizations out here that are doing it. There's people that are out here doing it. There are collaborations that happen all the time. It could be more, could be better, could be bigger money if we did more. But it's not happening as well. It's not just, we can't just be like Omaha is just one big crab in the barrel situation. That's really not that's not the reality. It's also true that there's a lot of collaboration going on out here and a lot of money being made. One of Lewis says, you can dance with the snakes, just don't get tangled up. I kind of like that.
I kind of like that.
We're going to let's take a quick break. It's already 8:43 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, we got some more things that we need to wrap up here at the end of the show, but we'll take a quick break and smell the coffee beans a little bit and come right back. Stay tuned. You're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
I'm Paul B. He's Buddy to God.
black. One move, we move. Just like that. Just like black. One move, we move. Just like that.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back for Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, Buddy to God, all of you, Chat Chimers, Ghost listeners. Appreciate you coming in. Do us a favor, like and subscribe over there on YouTube. And also, tell a friend, spread the word. Tell a friend, tell a friend. Good conversations going on here for sure. If you want to know more about what Brother Raheem is about, then go back and check out the interview we just had with him on YouTube. It'll be there as soon as we get off of live. You can go check out some more of that conversation and dig into some of the things that's said. Speaking of Empowerment Network, they have the Transformation 2030 coming up. State of North Omaha housing coming up with free breakfast from catered by Big Mamas. It's going down 8:30 to 12 o'clock this Saturday, April 11th. So shout out to them for putting this down here as well. There's a QR code to register and also a bit.ly address to register at as well. We'll put this in Friends of First Sky Omaha so you can do that. Highly suggest that you go check these out. These have been some of these regular events that Brother Raheem was just talking about that they have monthly. Meeting with the people, talking about transformational 2030 goals. We still need to talk about the goals of 2030 that they have put out there. This is a conversation we will have once we get enough people that have looked at this 2030 plan. Also, community partner updates, data and trends, home ownership strategies, upcoming developments, access, free resources and opportunities. This is one of these kinds of meetings that we've been talking about. Empowerment Network gets down on, so shout out to them for doing that. And as you can see, it looked like Brother Ewing, Mary Ewing, put some respect on his name, will be one of the speakers as well. Also, we had Gary Clark on, who's going to be one of the speakers there too. So Gary Clark, who is in charge of the Inland Port Authority, and every time I talk to him, is got new information on some of the progress there and funds, money that's there to help people get businesses in those areas if they're inclined to do it in the areas of where the Port Authority is going to be at. A lot of progress there. You can go speak to Brother Gary Clark anytime and talk about some opportunities there as well. Also, I see Brother Trey, who's there too from Omaha 100, who is a fund there's something like $86 million a fund to be able to fund black businesses as well. You can go to them and work with them on some things, and they will help you get whatever it is that you need to get straight in order to take advantage of some of those funds if you're proactive and ready to have a business and ready to get down. Many more speakers there too. I'd highly suggest you go check this out, and at the very least, go listen to them and go shake some hands and get to know them and exchange some phone numbers and have some conversations. Figure out how we can collaborate on everything that we're trying to collaborate on so that everybody can get the bag and come up. Appreciate Empowerment Network for doing that. 8:47 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, buddy, I know that you got a lot to wrap up here before the end of the show, so I'm gonna let you get to it. I don't want to take up all the time here, but man, really interesting stuff going on. We'll definitely talk more about HAPS and some other things that are going on this weekend on Friday, on Love Supreme Friday. So stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, between time, how are we wrapping it up today?
Yeah, ultimately, I want to land on a post from Sister Erica Felt that she shared on Friends of First Sky, just kind of giving us some ideas, some glimpses on how to, act with our money, especially in these times as things are possibly going to get crazier again. Looking at what's kind of mentioned, what Trump is saying about Iran and the conflict in the Middle East. But just a heads up, I think we're still not, through the thick of the impact as far as gas prices, resources, food availability, just product prices, things in general. So, we're not out of, the waters as far as the impact of this war in the Middle East, not just on energy, but just goods in general. So, definitely want to talk about that. But wrapping up this whole AI situation, because there's a lot surrounding that. Of course, there's still a lot of conversation around data centers, which, is the infrastructure needed to continue to, have this AI growth. And it's coming. And I know there's a lot of, distrust or just a lot of unfamiliarity with AI, some of the systems, some of the platforms, what it is that they do. But just having, continuing that conversation as far as the good, the bad, and the ugly. I definitely appreciate Brother Raheem for kind of, getting into the data side of things and how some of the AI tools we talked, ad nauseum about how AI, the environmental impacts and some of the lack of jobs as far as the data centers and all of the downside of AI. But I definitely appreciate having that other side of the conversation, because it's here. It is here, and we have to, while combating and looking at how to make sure the data centers aren't polluting our air, aren't coming into our communities. The simple fact that it is here, and we also have to think about how to use it to our advantage while also combating it. That is just the reality. And I definitely appreciate that. But also, getting into some of the combating things and looking at how some of these things are being used. Just a quick headline read: there's a story coming out of Iowa, as far as an Iowa GOP representative, a Republican, suggesting Iowa use AI for their budgeting, and to again analyze budgeting and where to maybe cut some corners, maybe to have some savings, maybe to do things as far as AI and budgeting, which is a whole nother conversation. Definitely want to dive into that in later dates. As far as how AI being used in some of these things, of course, there's been a lot of reporting on how AI is being used in war and some of these missile launches, and some of the shortcomings in that. So definitely looking at that situation, and also the other side of it, like how can some of us in our community have maybe some of these AI platforms being used, not maybe in government, but even in government. I do have a thought about that while we're here in the second hour, being a little looser. Um, I kind of feel like there is a way to make money from this war without necessarily supporting it, and then using that money to actually do what it is that we're trying to do.
Mm, that's a big statement.
It is, but he's right. There's every time there's a war, somebody's making money off of it.
This is true. I mean, that's what it's for nowadays.
Right. So again, this goes back to even thoughts of people having, talking about grants and not taking advantage of grants, or there's feelings about where did the money come from. Sometimes it's not about where's it going? How are you using it?
Yeah. I mean, all money ain't good money, but yeah,
Definitely.
all money has some bad money attached to it as well. So,
But it can do some good.
Unless we
What you gonna
overthrow
do with it?
capitalism, what we gonna do, right?
Right. So with all of that said, what are you going to do with the money that you already have? So again, here in this last 10 minutes or so, again, I did want to acknowledge what Sister Erica Felt is saying, and I appreciate this. Maybe Mayor Sanchez, you might enjoy this one as well. Again, Miss Erica Felt and the Friends of First Sky says important message and actions to consider implementing now. Again, new plan on how to use your money, or maybe not use the money. She says number one is to minimize and be lean. Housing, if in a house, downsizing, selling, or moving to an apartment. She says, I see multiple families or members living in one place. So again, maybe in this time of economic hardship, shacking up. She also says, grow your own food. Aquaponics saves water, and eat less meat. She says, in her personal self, I need to learn more about aquaponics. But again, definitely shout out to Brother Leo Lewis, who's been very active as far as making sure people in the community get their hands on heirloom seeds, which again are seeds that you can grow that produce their own seeds that you can continue to grow with. Yeah, it's kind of crazy that there's seeds that don't produce seeds, but here we are. So yeah, big shout out to Brother Leo Lewis for that, and Sister Erica Felt for reminding us to grow our own food, especially ahead of the fertilizer and helium shortage.
Yeah.
Again, where we haven't gotten into the thick of the impact of this war just yet. I think we're about a month or so away from really feeling the brunt of it. But continuing to recreate yourself in a second career and attain new skills or experience. Big shout out to Sean McCarthy, who again is getting into the AI, area, and again, learning new skills, going from being a writer to getting into AI models. Congratulations to you. Also, she says file for unemployment while job searching. So for those of you who might find yourselves in a situation similar to Brother McCarthy, maybe you want to look into unemployment. For those of you who have children in those situations, she says if you're on child care subsidy, aka Title 20, you receive 3 months of continued automation if you lose your employment. So you may find new employment. So again, if you're on Title 20 and looking for a job, you have 3 months of continued authorization if you lose employment. She also goes into food banks, free items posted online for those starting over to coordinate effort as a community. We also have our community resources page on our website, but you can see the full list on your page, on your screen. And again, I definitely just appreciate Miss Erica Feld and Ariel's 402, aka Mayor Sanchez, all the ideas we can come together to really make it through and control the controllables. I think that's the biggest thing for me today is control what you can control, as far as, again, working together, patronizing each other, being more intentional, as Brother Raheem said, being more intentional with the relationships, the collaborations, and how you use your resources.
That's right. Being broke ain't cool.
Man, there you go. There you go.
Um,
RG in the
yeah,
chat.
yeah, yeah. Just to clarify, she said, to I see multiple families or members living in one space. I think she's talking about families, not
Yeah. In the shack
shacking
neighborhood.
upside. Yeah. Ariel's 402, man. He says I've lost tens of thousands in my 401k in the last month or so. What's going on?
Man, the market's going crazy.
Is that why?
Man, give us some insight if you like to. But yeah, what's going on?
That's wild, man. That's wild. Yeah, these are some times. These are some of the toughest times ever. As a matter of fact, shout out to One Omaha, who's so neighborhood based, thanks to Miss Kimra Snipes. She is doing the work, man. They got the From the Ground Up speaker series starting up. This one is going to be focusing on emergency management. So what I think
Man, preparedness.
Man, preparedness, emergency management 101 is happening at Blackstone Theater April 8th, 2026. April 8th is today. So 6 to 8 it's going down. And yeah, definitely check that out. Matter of fact, let me put the link in the chat there for you to get some more information and register to go through. But shout out to One Omaha for doing that. You know, we're thinking about preparedness for neighborhoods in a big way, and individuals, families, whole nine. So that's what's up. Ariel's 402 says 3 of the easiest ways to save money: lower the temps on your refrigerator. Well, that's a good idea. Water heater, and do not use hot water in your laundry. Okay.
Okay.
Some money tips as well.
Yeah.
Also, man, I've been, we think a lot about cutting back. That's kind of our first way of controlling some things. I was that direction before, just cut back. And then something hit me, and then I was the other direction. No, I just got to make more money. Let me just make more money. I got to make more money. And then and now at this age, this big age I am now, I'm figuring out where the balance is for both. Cut back some things, sweet spot. Cut back some things, make some money, make more money on other things. And yeah, if we're living in this capitalist society right now, then yeah, for the goal, if you have a business, the goal is to increase business. If you're stagnant and your business is staying still, then your business will be done within the year. And so yeah, so that's definitely something we got to think about. Something we got to do. Also, RG says, yeah, me and my sister are gonna slide on camera for that. That's what's up.
Okay. Pulling up, getting outside.
Yep, definitely hit it up. Speaker series always gets down. Blackstone Theater, April 8th, 2000. This is today, 6 to 8. Definitely check them out. Appreciate that.
Man, kind of unrelated, but speaking of sliding and getting outside, anybody make it to the Wally event at the film streams on Monday?
Yeah, I actually did. I did. So yeah, it was a good full house. Some good discussion with the experts from UNMC about health and environment. Yeah, very cool. And one of the biggest things was just kind of meeting up with some of the folks that were like minded. We'll talk about doing some business with those folks. So unintentional circumstance, consequence of us living alive with one another in a third space to talk about important issues with experts was some collaborations that might come up from that. So, so I have encouraged everybody to keep going to those series once a month. I think it's the first Monday of every month. The checkup series, definitely check those out. And some of the other things that are going on at film streams too. Do not sleep on film streams, for real.
Man.
Yep. And so, yep. I appreciate you guys coming through. Anything else that's out there that you can see? I think that this is going to be the season of that. The weather's getting better. There's a lot of festivals happening. Summertime. We got Juneteenth around here. We got Noma Fest. We got Joy Fest. We got a lot of different festivals, a lot of different things going on, a lot of stuff happening. As a matter of fact, we haven't talked about this yet, but shout out to brother Calvin Williams, who's bringing some folks. I don't know if y'all can see this, but we got some tickets to give away.
Tap in.
For this concert that's coming up. There ain't no way you're going to be able to focus in on this, I can see. But
Man.
yeah, these are VIP tickets, as a matter of fact, as well. So stay
Mm.
tuned for that coming up. Big concerts coming up. Carrie Hilson and Life Jennings is coming back to Omaha, Nebraska.
Hey. Okay.
So yeah, man, come on. Shout out to them for doing that work. We'll be talking about those things coming up and giving away some tickets. Y'all gotta get better with getting these free tickets and going somewhere for real. But this is the season. This is the season. We're having our kickback as well. We're finding a date for our Chat Chimers kickback because we got to be a part of what's going on and be outside. As you can see right now, even with communications, we haven't dove back into this, but even with communications is going to require us to go face to face and
Man.
use physical media with each other.
Yeah. There's a lot going on in that realm, actually, from the top down, really.
From the top down. It's about time for us to get out of here. One more thing, I want to give a shout out to our brother over there,
Hey.
Big Elk. Man,
Exactly.
for those of you that are missing them Indian tacos that get down over there, man, this is coming up April 10th at 11 a.m. till sold out. You know where it is, Center Mall. Get down on the 4th floor. Man, shout out to my brother Lavelle Wells. And yeah, man, Big Elk Native Soul Indian Taco Fundraiser is coming back. RG, get ready. I know you ready for this as well.
Man, Marlon, three
Where's
play
Marlon
crew.
at?
Yeah, assemble.
Yeah.
Regulators. Mount up.
three play posse in the house, big time.
Yeah, there you go.
Down on that. And he even fooled around and put some banana pudding on the
Now, I was looking at that. $4. I was looking at that. Banana pudding.
Look, I will say this. Speaking of visitor center, you guys don't know about. We're gonna have somebody on from the visitor center to talk about changes over there too, because still popping is there now. Idol's there now.
Come on.
Somebody with some banana puddings over there, and I can't. If I don't get there by 11 o'clock, it's gone every day.
Yes.
We gotta talk about it.
Get you some coffee.
I'm doing a lot of shopping at the visitor center. There's a lot of vendors.
That's what it's about, man. That's what you're supposed to be doing.
Yep.
That's it.
Friday, we were just talking about One Omaha, Brother Trey over there at One Omaha, and somebody else that's working at One Omaha that's going to be a guest of ours coming Friday. Man, shout out to the sister. Is going. We get ready to do some really, really big things with some of the folks that are in these networks that we've been talking about. I think that's the key right now is the networks. Who's in the networks? Who's doing some things? Shout out to Eliana Nichols, who's going to be joining us on Friday. She's with One Omaha, but she's also the one that's behind those Coffee with Developers. We're going to be talking about that. He's been getting those developers together, having Senator Terrell McKinney come speak and so on and so forth. So shout out to this young lady doing the big things. We'll talk to her on Friday about all of it. And also Love Supreme Friday stuff coming up as well. There's so many events, so many things happening. Shout out to Flatwater Free Press for their April 10th in Kearney, Nebraska. I call it Kearney because that's the way it's spelled. Y'all want to laugh. I don't say Kearney. I say Kearney because it looked like Kearney to me. Concord fool. April 10th. This is happening Saturday. If you can get out there for the Flatwater Forum, those of you that are planning on going to this, love to hear from you as well. I do not think I'm going to make this, unfortunately. Personally, I'm not going to make it, but would love to hear some folks that are associated with us, Friends of First Guy Omaha, people that go out and check this out and come back and let us know about how it went down. And plus, we'll have on Chris Baby Boy Bowling and somebody from Flatwater to talk about it as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man.
Actually, I had a conversation with Baby Boy. Definitely need to line him up pretty soon. They're doing some things as far as the lead project. They're still reporting on that. Got some data out. Yeah.
Lots going on. Some new reporters over there. There's a lot happening with Flatwater.
Yeah, you gotta catch up.
Big time. And don't forget, man, shout out to the culture. Shout out to the hip hop lab that's going down at Culture House. This is also April 10th. This is Saturday, April 10th, Wild Style Culture Talk on Film. Be watching the film and have a discussion afterwards as well. And then the block party that's happening at the Tanasca Center, April 11th. Hip Hop Lab is going down. As you can see, there's going to be some heavy hitter DJs there. DJ Real. Come on, man. We got B-Boys. We got Rozelle coming to town. It's going down. 2 great days of hip hop events supporting hip hop culture's original origins is what Houston Alexander is saying here. Shout out to Houston Alexander as well, man. Gentleman and a scholar and hardest working DJ around as well. Still to this day, man. This is really, really bigging up the culture, and I really am appreciating this happening here. Like I said, it's going to be time to get outside, y'all, for real.
I'm telling y'all. And just how I started the show. You know what I'm saying? Waiting on my DJ equipment should be coming right now. But yeah, a big shout out to, Houston and everybody putting that on. Getting back to the culture. If you want to know more about what I was talking about at the top of the show, check it out. Wild Style, B-Boying, all of it is right there. The
That's
culture.
what's up. I find myself getting on the channel sometime and checking out what KRS One got to say right
Come
now, and
on.
De La
Come on.
Soul, and all these folks, man. And it makes me think about like who's holding it down right here, man. Shout out to DJ Shorty, shout out to
Come
Houston
on.
Alexander, shout out to everybody holding down the culture, man. For real, like in the real way, like holding down the culture here in town as well, bringing the
Oto.
history. Like yeah, man. Shout out to Marcier, shout out to Culture House, shout out to whoever's behind Omaha Performing Arts, bringing the Hip Hop Lab, like.
I think that's Aaron, brother
Yeah,
Aaron.
man, it's some stuff. More to come. More to come. So let's start planning on doing that, man. Let's get outside. You ain't gotta wait for the beach body. Just go on outside. And let's
Hey,
meet up.
hey.
Let's get together and let's have some intentional conversation and do some business together this summer as well. Lots of money flowing. Let's get our hands on some of it. Let's see how we can enhance it and use it to enhance our ideas on how to take care of one another for real. The more money I make, the more I'm inclined to help with some of the things that's going on. Like we just talked about, we just saw that brother smoking doja over there with wangs and things. That brother got some equipment stolen, and man, that was
Mm.
messed up. Yeah, man, somebody ran up in his yard and jacked his generator he just got, and yeah, and he had to go ahead and just kind of like put a post out like it was a bad time for that. You know, bad things happen at bad times. Like it was a bad
Man,
time for that. Need a little help. Put a GoFundMe out. It was like, hey man, I got a couple extra bucks. Let me get down on this GoFundMe. Shout out to them. He's always been somebody that supported all the events that we've done in the past as well. So on behalf of First Guy Omaha, we definitely had to make a contribution. Look him up, make a contribution, and help him get
no
his
problem.
equipment. But this is what we do. This is part of that mutual aid, if you want to call it that, when it comes
Man,
to that kind of level too. Businesses helping each other, not
forgot
just
another
people.
word.
Businesses helping each other, because the more businesses that we can make thrive, that's more jobs for people and so on and so forth. So it's also some work there to do there too, especially when you got known folks in the community and you got people that's been doing the good work, and you can help support them in their time of need, and they can help support you in your time of need. It's what it is. We're out here to do that. Let's build that camaraderie. There's a lot of it going on already. Let's expand it big time.
Man, there you go. How we gonna be a community if we not communing? Not
Got
coming
to commune.
together. Got to commune. Got to commune. So yeah, man, appreciate that sentiment. Again, big shout out to our brother Raheem for
Yes.
coming through and speaking with us. Again, check them out. PPRP. Again, PPRP Innovations.com. If you want to learn more about the work that they're doing, get involved. Maybe, get on your data grind. Learn how to use data and information to get that bag. So yeah, man, without further ado, you got anything else for the people, or it's time to get up out of here? What you
Yeah,
thinking? What you
it's
thinking?
about time to go. You got some final words for the folks?
Yeah. Again, big shout out to brother Raheem for taking the time out of his busy schedule to speak with us, and all of you for joining the conversation. As always, letting your mind be free, letting your voice be heard. Hopefully, you learned something. Hopefully, we weren't, preaching to the choir too much, coming to some understanding, and really getting some clarity on what it is that we have to do and how it is that we have to go about it, man. So, again, appreciate y'all. If you don't take away anything from today, take away. Yeah, the weapon will form, but it won't prosper. Control what you can control. Let's keep it moving. Let's get it done. Let's get it done. And
There you
we can
go.
do it together. So again, appreciate you, love you. We thank you. Catch the same time, same place. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, right here on First Sky Omaha in the morning, Paul.
In the morning.
Hey, there you go. There you go. And yeah, man, without further ado, Paul B.
Yo.
Take it away, man.
Let us know your takeaways. Put them in Friends of First Guy Omaha. If you got takeaways each show, I'm gonna start asking this each show. Whatever your one
Yeah.
sentence takeaway is, let us know. Hit us up. Hit us up. Don't forget about the newsletter coming. Weekly wrap is coming on Friday at 4:00, and we are going to start expanding this a little bit out too, for a little bit
Yeah,
more
me too.
information in it, and also willing to have some feedback here as well. If we ever get to the point where we're not using the social medias anymore, we're going to be using our email addresses, and we can speak back and forth that way as well. So definitely hit us back up. We'll have some surveys and stuff ready for you over there. Weekly wrap is going down, and as far as my takeaway is concerned, this show ain't nothing cool about being broke.
Hey.
That's gonna be my takeaway. One of them. One of the takeaways. I think overall for me this past couple weeks, shout out to brother Raheem on this, but my big takeaway is lean into your strengths and hire out
Man.
your weaknesses. That's what's up. So we're gonna be looking at doing a whole lot of that. Appreciate you. Lavelle Wells gonna be serving up that post workout meal. Come on now. That's what it is.
RG.
You're already ready. You planning it out. Shout out to brother Lavelle Wells, Big Elk. It's time to do a little
Yeah.
fundraising and have some food over there for real, man. And somebody save me
Yeah.
some banana pudding. If I
Yeah,
get it
yeah.
late.
See, brother RG standing for real games.
That's right. I see you out there.
Yeah,
Where's that? Where's that Thor picture?
yeah. Got his store on. Getting his store on.
It's the hammer out there. That's what's up.
Yeah,
Pop says, thanks for another uplifting show. The only way to start the morning off right. See you Friday. Appreciate you, Pops.
Thank you.
Thank you. Shout out to Maha Tribe elders allowing us to be on this land and speak while we're here. Shout out to our elders for allowing us to speak before you. And shout out to you, the chat chimers, allowing us to speak with you. Very, very much appreciate you guys coming on and giving the guests respect, having some good questions, comments, and continuing the conversation. And also, for some of the things that we talk about that we don't necessarily agree with, but we can still have conversation. We appreciate the way that you are adopting our style on how to try to get together and have a conversation when we disagree as well. So appreciate that. Respect to you. Respect to everybody. Love to everybody. Love Supreme Friday coming with Miss Eliana Nichols is coming through. And definitely check her out on Friday. We will definitely talk about some of the things that she's doing. I love to see young folks out here doing some big work. So we'll continue that conversation with the Love Supreme Friday. And meantime, between time, take care of yourselves. Enjoy that 72-degree weather. Peace, peace, peace.
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 By the way, Vanglorious. This is protected by the red, the black, and the green.